Hi, I'm Vince Dao, and I'm so conservative that I don't want anything to do with the left. In fact, I don't even turn left when I walk.
If we're spreading this conservative message and people like Vince Dow spread the message really well, and the young people get access to this message, you're going to start doing more research and looking into these subjects.
In fact, I was following, the whole political sphere on Instagram, Vince Dao dance videos.
The more we have people like you can be able to counteract all the BS that they spreading in school today, man. So you guys are just as important, man. Don't ever think otherwise.
Yep.
Isn't it great to see so many like-minded, patriotic Americans come together and take a stand for some common sense and American principles and give yourselves Democrats can claim to be on the side of working families, but their agenda is clear: to destroy the working class every chance they get in the name of virtue signaling. Feeling good is greater than doing good. That's the agenda of the DNC. It might as well be their motto.
Vince Dow, you're like the only Asian conservative commentator.
Hi, I'm Vince Dow, and I'm so conservative that I don't want anything to do with the left. In fact, I don't even turn left when I walk.
If we're spreading this conservative message and people like Vince Dow spread the message really well, and the young people get access to this message, you're going to start doing more research and looking into these subjects.
In fact, I was following, the whole political sphere on Instagram, Vince Dao dance videos.
The more we have people like you can be able to counteract all the BS that they spreading in school today, man. So you guys are just as important, man. Don't ever think otherwise.
Yep.
Isn't it great to see so many like-minded, patriotic Americans come together and take a stand for some common sense and American principles and give yourselves Democrats can claim to be on the side of working families, but their agenda is clear: to destroy the working class every chance they get in the name of virtue signaling. Feeling good is greater than doing good. That's the agenda of the DNC. It might as well be their motto.
Vince Dow, you're like the only Asian conservative commentator.
Hi, I'm Vince Dow, and I'm so conservative that I don't want anything to do with the left. In fact, I don't even turn left when I walk.
we're spreading this conservative message and people like Vince Dao spread the message really well, and the young people get access to this message, you're going to start doing more research and looking into these subjects.
In fact, I was following, the whole political sphere on Instagram, Vince Dao dance videos.
The more we have people like you can be able to counteract all the BS that they spread in school today, man. So you guys are just as important, man. Don't ever think otherwise.
Yep.
Isn't it great to see so many like-minded, patriotic Americans come together and take a stand for some common sense and American principles? And give yourselves a hand. Democrats can claim to be on the side of working families, but their agenda is clear: to destroy the working class every chance they get in the name of virtue signaling. Feeling good is greater than doing good. That's the agenda of the DNC. It might as well be their motto.
Vince Dao, you're like the only Asian conservative commentator.
Hi, I'm Vince Dao, and I'm so conservative that I don't want anything to do with left. In fact, I don't even turn left when I walk.
If we're spreading this conservative message and people like Vince Dao spread the message really well, and the young people get access to this message, you're going to start doing more research and looking into these subjects.
In fact, I was following, the whole political sphere on Instagram, Vince Dao dance videos.
The more we have people like you can be able to counteract all the BS that they spread in school today, man. So you guys are just as important, man. Don't ever think otherwise.
Yep.
Isn't it great to see so many like-minded, patriotic Americans come together and take a stand for some common sense and American principles? And give yourselves a hand. Democrats can claim to be on the side of working families, but their agenda is clear: to destroy the working class every chance they get in the name of virtue signaling. Feeling good is greater than doing good. That's the agenda of the DNC. It might as well be their motto.
Vince Dao, you're like the only Asian conservative commentator.
Hi, I'm Vince Dao, and I'm so conservative that I don't want anything to do with left. In fact, I don't even turn left when I walk.
If we're spreading this conservative message and people like Vince Dao spread the message really well, and the young people get access to this message, you're going to start doing more research and looking into these subjects.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Let me just close out this tab real quick. We are live for this special Sunday night stream. And for those of you guys watching this right now on Chandler Crump's YouTube channel, I'm sure you're wondering, where the heck is Chandler Crump? Well, Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the stream for this special Sunday night stream, Chandler Crump. How are you doing? I know you're living in one of the more chaotic cities in America. How have things been? Say hi.
Well, it's been pretty crazy. If you saw my stream I did like half an hour ago or an hour ago or so, I spoke about how I just got home today, but I was at another location and I was just on social media and I was literally watching as one of the malls that I go to sometimes. It's really far from me, but Lenox Mall in the middle of Atlanta, I literally watched it get raided, and then a mall across from it also get raided. I saw on social media they were raiding stores that like I had walked in myself, like browsed, looked at things, possibly even bought stuff from before, and I saw that they literally ran in there, took stuff, and ran out. It's something that you sit there and you chuckle at because it's like, wow, they're running and grabbing stuff. But then you're like, well, dang, this is where our culture's at right now. This is where, and I hate to say it, but this is where our country's at, and even more so, this is where some of the Black community is at, running into those stores, taking advantage of this whole situation, and taking things, materialistic items over anything else.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. And I've had the same exact experience. I've seen stores in places that I've been to and know myself, just watching them get absolutely destroyed. It's ridiculous. For those of you guys watching on Aadi Bhanti's channel, you're probably wondering, where the heck is he? Well, as usual, and this is very typical of Aadi, he is running late and he's going to be in the stream in about, I don't know, he said about like 8 minutes, so he'll be here soon. But for those of you guys watching on his channel, don't go anywhere. All right, he's going to be here. I know you guys watch the channel for him, so stay here. All right.
Chandler Crump is never late.
But yeah, Chandler Crump is absolutely never late. For those of you guys watching the stream on any of our single channels, make sure you're subscribed to all of us. After that, Go ahead and do it. So
make sure you hit the like button and share as well. Sharing is very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So obviously tonight we are, I don't think what's going on in America tonight needs any introduction. We are just in probably like the craziest situation of civil unrest we've had in a long time in this country. It's depressing as anyone who is an American patriot to watch, just to see our basically country fall apart in the way it is on us. So I guess, Chandler, I guess we'll just start. What is your message to the country right now? Both the people rioting, the people not rioting. Where are we right now?
Well, like I'm gonna say this a couple times because I just had like a hour-long stream just talking about this whole thing. But basically, what I said during that stream, I think, is what I want to say now. And what I said is that working together gets us so much further than lobbing curses and lobbing items at each other did. I saw something in my stream. I don't remember specifically what it was, but I just sat. Oh no, I saw a video of a young kid who was upset. He was emotional at something, and this one cop, he brought him in a hug and comforted him. And I was like, that's so powerful. This is exactly what we need. I saw another video where it was one protester, one Black protester, and then a white cop, and they shook hands like in this style, that style. And they were like, I respect you. I see your point of view. You see my point of view. I see what you want. You see what I want. Let's work together. Let's accomplish what we're going for. Because each and every one, I can't say each and every one of us, most people in this nation want to make this nation better. There's some people out there that will just say, oh, ACAB, or they'll just be absolute about it. Like, oh, cops are racist. Cops work in a broken system. Get rid of cops or something. And that's simply just not going to happen, nor would it work. We need to fight for change in this nation. That's what a lot of progressives fight for. They want to progress things forward and change things. And while we may not, a lot of conservatives and a lot of other people may not necessarily agree with each and every one of the changes they want to make, what we do know is that we want to make this nation better. So it's better to work together, come hand in hand, hug, arm in arm, each and everything we need to do and bring this nation forward, rather than throwing rocks back and forth, throwing curses back and forth, and just all in all, pulling in two different directions. Because when you pull a rope like this, it gets you nowhere. But when you pull a rope like this, it gets you everywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What we need right now, I said this on Twitter today, I'm gonna say it again. Racial division in the United States of America is a hindrance to American progress and American greatness. Okay, it's absolutely 100%. What we need in this country right now, and look, for the gazillionth time, we will both say that what happened to George Floyd was terrible. George Floyd was straight up murdered by police, and George Floyd needs to receive justice. But this is not how you achieve justice for George Floyd. I'll first start off by saying that it is basically a fact that these riots across this country are actually delaying justice for George Floyd. The reason for that is because now that the attention for this case has been so widespread and so across the country, and these riots are so huge, it is going to be very hard and I was watching a U.S. attorney talk about this last night, a former U.S. attorney talk about this last night. It is going to be very hard for the legal system to find an impartial jury of 12 jurors within all this now, because now everyone knows the case. Everyone basically has opinions on the case because it's so contentious and there's so much, going on. It's going to be very hard now, and it's going to take a very long time for this court case to happen and for George Floyd to receive justice. And beyond that, a lot of people say, well, it's not just about George Floyd, because people don't really want to admit this or recognize this, but George Floyd's own fiance came out and said that George Floyd was a man of peace, that he was a community man, and he would absolutely be against this meaningless violence and the utter destruction of communities of color, and frankly, all communities across the United States. But a lot of people have been sort of saying, well, you know what? And it's sort of an excuse. It's an excuse. They say, well, it's not just about George Floyd. It's about all policing in America. And I think everyone can agree that there are problems with community police relations in the United States of America. The question is, how do you fix those problems? And I can say with utter certainty that what we see in our streets right now is not improving community police relations whatsoever. Chandler, would you agree with that?
Not at all. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what we are seeing is taking our country backward. It is not getting justice for George Floyd, nor is it going to fix this so-called supposedly broken system that you'll see the supporters of these riots talk about. This is not helping whatever the system is. I mean, if you want to say, well, it's going to decrease police violence, well, is that the case? Because what we see now are police being put in a position where, frankly, in a lot of cases, they have to inflict violence because their lives are in physical danger. But beyond that, if you want to just talk about things on a broader scale, the fact that so many people, and especially minorities and people of color in this country, are destroying their own communities. Well, as we saw in Detroit in the 60s, as we saw in Los Angeles after the 1992 LA riots, all these businesses being destroyed. And it was like Thursday night alone, there were over 170 businesses in St. Paul, Minnesota alone.
Including black-owned small businesses. Including
black-owned small businesses that were looted or destroyed. What you are going to see is a mass exodus. You're going to see a brain drain of a lot of businesses from black communities specifically.
That is exactly what I said in my stream. I actually spoke about how rioting, not only does it not improve the national climate, it messes up your own regional climate, because I spoke about how let's say in other places where riots previously happened, after those riots happened, the people that owned the businesses, whether they were big retail businesses, like for instance, Target, I don't know if that was specifically a case, but like, for example, Target, down to a small business, like let's say a barbershop, you get looted, that barbershop's going to be like, all right, let's get out of here. I've got to already have enough reasons to get out of this Democrat-run city because the taxes are too high, property taxes, all the regulations, each and everything that has hindered their business so far has done all of it. All the reason they just wanted to stay there is because it would cost too much to move. But now they've lost everything. They ran in there, had their clippers stolen from the barbershop, or for like, they had their shoes stolen from the shoe store, or food and other products stolen from the Target. That's what got them out of there. So they're going to move out of there and nothing's going to be there. It's going to be as bad as it was during the Obama administration, because each and every store is going to be gone because taxes are high, regulations are high, because it's a Democrat
property
state.
Taxes, right?
Especially property taxes in a Democrat state with a Democrat county and a Democrat city. You're just going to be like, yeah, let's get out of here. And they pack their bags and leave. It's not helping anybody. Yeah. I was gonna say it was helping somebody, but nah, not even helping the government. No, because nobody's gonna be there to pay taxes. It's not helping no one.
Yeah, and then so here's the thing though, when businesses leave struggling communities of color like this, black activists always talk about the cycle of poverty, right? In black communities, when businesses get up and leave, and there's economic desolation in these communities, well, guess what's going to happen? Poverty is going to get worse because there are no economic opportunities for the people living in that community. What happens, and even if you don't care about poverty, I think everyone in the United States cares about poverty, but let's say for some reason you don't. Okay, then let's just talk about police killings. Well, if poverty is increasing in a neighborhood, it logically equates that the crime rate is going to go up in that neighborhood, right? Because some people will turn to crime. It's going to be harder to find, legitimate means of work. Okay, When the crime rate goes up in the neighborhood, it logically equates that there will be more police incidents and hence more police shootings in that neighborhood. So if you want to be purely practical about this, there's no situation whatsoever in which destroying your own community will somehow help your community, whether that's with policing or just in general, because their argument is very vague. Frankly, in all this, it's like there's just a problem with the system. They can't name exactly what the problem is with the system or where it is or how to fix that problem, but they say it's all about the system. Well, regardless, whatever the problem with the system is, it's being made far, far worse by this rioting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about this specifically, because I've been told several times that because I am not black,
Yeah.
I am not allowed to condemn people breaking into auto shops and lighting them on fire. So, Chandler, would you like to do that for me? Would you like to tell people that it is not okay to light random crap on fire?
It is not okay to light random things on fire because your fragile emotions were hurt by the murder of somebody you didn't know simply because they were the same race color as you. Okay, There's no connection there. I understand walking out in the street, holding a sign and saying Black Lives Matter because that was a murder. It wasn't fair. But that's not a reason to run into a business of, and they're trying to be all intersectional about it. It doesn't matter what race it was, but it just defeats the purpose when you run into a barbershop owned by some black guy, steal hair clippers. I'm not saying that was a specific case, but that's like an example of what they would do for a small business. They run in there, take something and run out. You're not helping anybody. You're only helping yourself. And in the long run, you're actually hurting yourself, especially if you live in that community. Because like I said before, and you were speaking about it too, it's a circle of poverty. Nothing is going to help you. And in a couple years' time, especially if these riots continue to happen, especially in the same places like Minneapolis or other states and cities where it's overwhelmingly ran by Democrats, you're just going to turn to crime eventually. And somebody pointed this out to me as well. The riots have, I believe as of a certain time, I don't know if it's still the case right now, but only one riot had actually taken place in a Republican city or a Republican state, one of the two, one of either. And so every single riot had taken place in a majority Democrat, either state or city. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was, I think, city, majority run Democrat city. You're not helping yourself because you're just not. Like you said, circle of poverty. Nothing's going to help you with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely disgusting. But there are people who are acting, and I think these people are just as bad as the rioters. The people who are acting like breaking into Target and stealing PlayStations and TVs is somehow an uprising against oppression and police brutality. And how is what does this have to do?
And that's
Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, but that's exactly what I've been talking about because they've been co-opting this whole thing into something else. So originally it's like about, it's about George Floyd, justice for George Floyd. Oh, well, now it's about police brutality. Oh, well, now it's about F capitalism. Oh, now it's about raiding CNN and then showing the Mexican flag. You can't make this stuff up. They're really doing whatever they can with it because somehow the killing of George Floyd equates that we should get rid of the police departments, get rid of capitalism, impeach Donald Trump, and dissolve the United States of America.
Yeah, it's absolutely. So what we've seen here are leftist radicals exploit the death of George Floyd as an excuse to push their own ends. And a lot of these cases, they're leftist revolutionaries. So it is their goal to basically destroy our current capitalist society and overthrow the system. And so they saw this chance. They saw, George Floyd got killed. There's a chance for me to go out and riot and loot and steal. And even the people who aren't leftist revolutionaries, what we have a situation in America right now is a situation where since police are in trouble because of what happened to George Floyd, they are not allowed to enforce basic civil law, right? Like basic laws of our society, such as you can't break into a store and steal stuff from it, such as you cannot light random buildings on fire, right? And police are literally not being allowed to enforce these laws. So what we have basically more or less is the purge. And if you ask half of this, like a lot of people in this country, like, okay, if you knew you could break into a store and steal stuff from it without consequences, would you do it? Now, obviously, it's still immoral. It doesn't matter if you're facing consequences or not. It's still immoral. But I can understand how a lot of people, if they were presented that scenario, which is exactly what we have right now, I can understand how a lot of people would see that and think, oh, well, I can steal stuff from Adidas or Louis Vuitton and not face consequences. Let me go do it. Like these people who are looting don't know or care anything about George Floyd. In fact, a lot of them probably don't even know who he is. It's the fifth night now. They've probably forgotten his freaking name. Okay, because half of them are probably like drunk or high while they're stealing this crap. The Atlanta mayor pointed that out. She said like half of you guys are running in with brown liquor, right?
Yep.
So
gotta love. I wasn't always the biggest fan of Keisha Lance Bottoms, but you know what? That statement right there she put out. I haven't been following her too much, but that absolute dominator of a speech she made, that was definitely entertaining and definitely, you know, it put them in their place. She was not happy, and I enjoyed what she had to say. Let's say that.
Yeah, it is 100%. So people will try to pin us as these bigots that don't care about black lives or black communities somehow by saying
I'm a white supremacist.
You're a white supremacist. You are a white supremacist for saying that black people should not destroy black communities. That makes you a white supremacist. Okay, but for the people who are saying that it's just a right-wing issue, no, it's a common sense issue. Okay, you have someone like her name is Keisha Lance Bottoms, right? The mayor of Atlanta.
Keisha Lance Bottoms.
She's a far left Democrat. Okay, she probably disagrees with us on like no other political issue, but she came together with us and said that this is wrong. This is not an issue of right versus left. I mean, sure, the far left is supporting this, but like probably like half of the left in this country doesn't support what's happening. But also, I want to point out this is not actually a racial issue. Okay, like people have been telling me because I am against rioting and looting and all this freaking useless violence, that means I am somehow against black people. Somehow. But the thing is, if you look at these riots, especially the riots in which Antifa is being bussed in, you will see that a large population of the people rioting, in some cases the majority of people rioting, are white. Meanwhile, you look at the other side, there are a large population of black people who are against these riots, in some cases black people actively trying to defend their own businesses. Okay, so for anyone to pretend like this is a white versus black issue, it's not. It's an issue of patriots versus thugs. It's an issue of normal people who want to live in a civilized society and follow the laws of a civilized society versus barbarians who want to steal stuff and commit domestic terrorism. Chandler, you agree on that?
Yeah. I'm getting an update. A friend of mine, Uber guy, you guys may know him. He just posted in the chat that there's a protest happening at the White House right now and that they went crazy and that rubber bullets were just fired. So I'm going to look into finding that. I'm going to share it to the screen if I can. Yeah. So let me look for that. But
we can definitely watch the what's going on tonight. Like just watch some of it live after we sort of like have our like discussion here.
Yeah, just want to see if I can find that.
Yeah,
no, we can keep talking through all of that. I was just saying, like, I want to see if I can find that real quick. Uber guy, if you have like a direct feed to that, can you post that in the chat? Or better yet, DM it to me on Twitter. I'll see that. Let me know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's all been crazy with all these riots, and there's this whole story of Antifa being mixed in with all of it. There was this one video I showed on my live stream where it was like Antifa, and he was trying to destroy a part of the sidewalk to use it as a brick to throw at cops. And then all the Black Lives Matter protesters got on him and then got him arrested because he was breaking the law. He was vandalizing a sidewalk and he was going to create a deadly weapon to use against the police officers. So they're like, not in my protest. We're not involved with that. And then another case that was a lot like that was where it was these two Antifa operative ladies who were, I don't know where they were, but they were spray painting something. They were spray painting BLM and some other stuff on a Starbucks. And all the Black Lives Matter people walked up and started screaming at them because they were saying, you guys are doing this, and then we're taking the fall for all of it because you guys are the ones that are running into some of the stores. You guys are the ones that are vandalizing property. And for the most part, you guys are the ones that are hurting people and getting people hurt. We don't want to get blamed with that. We're trying to protest here peacefully, and you're co-opting our movement for your white savior self, for your white liberal savior self who sees yourself as better and says, oh, I have white privilege. That means that I live a better life because I'm white. That's a racist idea. True or not, the very notion of that idea is that I am a white person, which means I am better than you, which means I have to have sympathy for you because you are a little black boy. I don't know. That sounds a little racist to me. What do you think? It's just my idea.
Yeah, it 100% sounds racist to me. You know what else also sounds racist to me? There are a lot of people who've been saying that the riots are the only solution. I don't know if you heard people say this, but it's like, oh, we've been fighting for so long. This is the only way. Because we've been trying peacefully for so long. Firstly, the idea that the only way the black community in America can solve their problems is by lighting random buildings on fire is inherently, definitionally racist and is an insult to every single black person in this country. The idea that the only way that black people can solve their grievances in America is by stealing stuff and by destroying their own communities, downright racist and disgusting. So if anyone that's try to, and also not historically true, because you literally have someone named Martin Luther King Jr., definitely the most revered and known pro-black activist in the United States history. He literally figured out a way to do this peacefully.
You gotta be careful with that term there, because now that term kind of means something else within the black conservative movement, and I'm not going to bring that into this stream because that's very unrelated, but you got to be careful with that term right there. But yeah, I see what you mean.
What term?
Pro-black.
Oh yeah, pro-black. Well, by pro-black, I mean like literally
pro-civil rights. I think you may have muted yourself. I can't hear you anymore. Or is that my end?
You hear me now?
Yes. All right. Sorry about that.
See, the problem is my mic is on low battery, but I can't unscrew the thing.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
Like it's literally stuck. Like it's literally stuck on the thing. So I might have to move to like headphone right here or something like that later in the stream. But
always
we'll just
something.
Keep going. Yeah, always something, exactly. But we'll just keep going. Okay, so as I was saying, okay, so Martin Luther King Jr. and there are people saying it's worse now than it was 60 years ago. That's utter nonsense. Like there's literally not one single piece of data or empirical evidence to support the fact that it is worse now than it was 60 years ago. Okay, Martin Luther King Jr. fought a far more oppressive system, and whether or not you want to claim the system is oppressive in America today,
it's gone again. But I actually wanted to cut in right here because they're all saying, oh, it's worse now than it was, let's say 5 or 10 years ago. It's like they can't see their own progress, because right now I believe police brutality is the best it's ever been, because we're not dealing with it really as much anymore. I mean, it's been a solid good while since we've heard of the last actual story before George Floyd, and then a couple of the other more recent cases, which some of them weren't even directly related to the police. And then you also have to remember that they're playing a game here, the media. None of us trust the media at all. Okay, that's the first thing we have to say. You can look on both sides. Nobody really trusts the media with anything. The media is propping up the stories they want to prop up because it pushes their own narrative and allows them to have control over your mind. Dao, is your audio? It's still out for me. Try again. Still can't hear. Sorry about this, folks, but if you are watching, if you just tuned in or you've been watching for a little while, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe on both of our channels if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell if you are subscribed, and share. Share is very important. And also follow our social media if you aren't already. Dao, try speaking. You're kind of there, but you're still a little low. Try again. Okay. Let me just read some of these chat messages. Nino No says, anyone else with me on how handsome Chandler is becoming as a young man? Thank you so much, Nino. Dallas Johnson says, Murphy McDougalley, you can argue that everyone has advantages and disadvantages in North America. I can't read. Not that it's exactly privileges. I had trouble with that one. Very interesting thought there. And then Beowulf says, Asian brothers way wound tight. That's kind of rude. But I think he's speaking some good facts here. Don't be rude. Come on, guys. We're just trying to have some fun here. We always have a good conversation. Yeah, we're still working on the audio on Dowsin, but for now, I'm just reading some of the comments from you guys. I like to get your input. Let's scroll up. My boy Uber guy is in here in the chat. My guy Mark Miller, he says, I saw 4 Antifa members this morning in my city. Yeah, Mark told me a little bit about that going on in his city. He's up there in Philadelphia, and they had some protests going on up there. You still can't hear you, Dow. Sorry about that. Is everything all right? What is that?
Okay, do you hear me now?
Kind of, but it's a little low quality. The audio is okay though, like the volume. Try speaking.
Is it like cutting out like crazy or something?
No, it just sounds like you're calling from 2008. Go ahead. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a snob.
You know what? That works just fine. Okay, chat. Do I sound okay? All right. Anyways. Okay. So as I was saying before, right, and you guys can hear me now. Okay, so as I was saying before, to pretend like the system in the United States of America right now is worse than it was under segregation is both nonsensical, like it's not true by any like metric. But on top of that, it's just insulting to all the real civil rights leaders and all the black people who lived during that time and had to fight such far worse oppression than whatever you feel like, you know, you're dealing with the United States of America right now. But that being said, Martin Luther King Jr. won that fight through nonviolence. And so to pretend like now, in an instance where it's not nearly as bad, to pretend like now suddenly violence is the answer is just nonsense.
Yeah. It is nonsense that people are starting to get in there with violence again. Like they're always championing Martin Luther King as the guy who they respect. Do you know who Martin Luther King looked to for guidance when he began his fight? Gandhi. He looked to Gandhi, and Gandhi praised and followed the same doctrine of nonviolence. Martin Luther King followed that doctrine of nonviolence. What are you doing? I mean, you look at America now, it is absolutely nothing like how it was when Martin Luther King was around and Martin Luther King was doing his fight. I mean, they killed Martin Luther King for doing things his way. You're not going to get killed out here simply for saying, oh, you know, Black Lives Matter, unless you're one of those Antifa thugs who's running at a cop throwing a brick, because they will shoot you. Of course, they'll try to find nonviolent ways to fire upon you with like a rubber bullet or beanbag rounds, but in very rare cases, if you're being violent, they will have to retaliate to you. They're not just going to sit there and let you attack them. And the very notion that America is worse off now than it was 10, 15, or 20 years ago is very disrespectful to the black people who were around, who were fighting for civil rights 10, 15, and 20 years ago. That's just very disrespectful to say our fight now is worse than it was then. You weren't around then. It's about as disrespectful as saying, oh, well, you know, white people are racist because they descended from somebody who had the chance of being a slave owner. It's just disrespectful because, you know, you never know if the white person you're accusing of being racist was actually related to an abolitionist who fought on the Union side of the Civil War and never owned slaves and was very against slavery and convinced other slave owners to get rid of their slaves and to free them. You don't know the history. You can't just look at somebody and say, I know your history based off their skin color, because this doesn't define me. It's part of me, but it isn't what I am. It's who I am, but it's not everything I am. Your skin color isn't everything you are. It's part of who you are, and it's part of your creator's plan for you, but it's not your whole life. And you shouldn't be basing all of your actions simply off what is on the edge of your body.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because I will once again circle back to the idea that just because you are black does not mean that rioting is the only way you can solve your problems, and does not mean you need to support these riots. Like not, absolutely not whatsoever. And these riots, frankly, are not the solution. Like I don't understand how any sane, civilized person can just watch the news tonight and think to themselves, you know what? That's helping black communities. How anyone could look at what's going on tonight and just think that's okay. Like that's okay. We are witnessing the utter and complete destruction of law and order in society. By the way, I will make sort of this statement, which is that we are currently seeing the effects of lawlessness. Like we are currently witnessing lawlessness and total chaos and confusion and anarchy on our streets. And this is what it like. This is what a society where police are not allowed to do their basic job, as in make sure people don't set buildings on fire. That's what we're watching right now. So we can either have that, or we can have a society where there actually is law and order, but on the occasion, wrong things happen to people. And it's not just black people, because if you look at what happened to Tony Timpa in 2019, the exact same thing that happened. A lot of people don't realize this, but the exact same thing that happened to George Floyd happened to a white man named Tony Timpa in 2019. So it's not, but going back to what I was saying, you can have a society where there's law and order, but the enforcers of the law occasionally commit injustices, but we will try our best to reduce those injustices. Or you can live in a society where there is lawlessness, there's absolutely no rule of law or policing or anything on our streets, and that is a choice you have to make. Now, if you want to say, oh, well, you know what, that'll be better for black people if the police don't do anything. Really? Is that why multiple, I'm guessing by this point, black people have been killed as a result of these riots? Hell, look at Patrick Underwood. He's a federal security guard last night in Oakland. And an armed domestic terrorist shot and killed him. Left-wing radical domestic terrorists. Like, do Black Lives Matter did Black lives only matter when they're ended by police? Because suddenly domestic terrorists kill a black man and nobody says anything. In fact, you have like 30% of our country straight up justifying these riots and justifying what happens to an innocent black man that was killed by domestic terrorists. It is absolutely ridiculous. Anyone who says, and this is a common argument I've heard, anyone who says that private property can be rebuilt, but human lives and lives of color cannot. To an extent, you're right. Sure, private property can be rebuilt, but lives cannot be rebuilt. But lives, including the lives of black people and people of color, are being ended because of these riots. Okay, lawlessness kills, and to pretend like lawlessness doesn't kill is just totally ignorant of the country of Somalia or Sudan or Libya or anywhere where there is not basic rule of law. And if you don't believe it, literally look to what's happening in the United States right now. We are literally witnessing lawlessness kill people, including people of color. And you have 30% of the country just sitting here and acting like it's okay and acting like this is somehow helping black people.
If black lives actually matter to the left, they would do something about abortion, where in some states, in some cities, more than half of our babies are being disassembled in the womb before they even have a chance to take their first breath. If black lives actually matter to the left, they would do something in Chicago to address the disgusting amount of black on black homicides that are happening there. Not only in Chicago, but all over the nation. So many black homicides happen where just a black guy will kill another black person. If black lives actually matter to the left, they would have actually done something to get black men and black women out of prison for menial crimes that, guess who threw them in there? Joe Biden and Bill Clinton with their infamous crime bill of 94 that Joe Biden refuses to apologize for. In fact, he's quite proud that he wrote a bill that threw so many black people in prison for menial drug crimes that didn't hurt anybody. If black lives actually mattered to any of them, they would have done something many, many years ago. But it doesn't. All that matters from us to them is our vote. So many people have said it so eloquently that it's just hard to even deny it anymore. Black lives don't matter. Black votes do to Democrats. Vince, your audio is cutting out again. Is everything okay over there? And then also we have a little thing on the screen here. Okay. You've highlighted Susanna's comment. Let's just read it out. If we are hearing Derek Chauvin is on suicide watch, then expect him to die in prison. I heard about that, but I haven't had the chance to look into that, but I'm hearing about that. Shout out to Susanna. She's from my channel. I recognize her. Thanks for tuning in, Susanna. If you guys are just tuning in or you've been here for a little while, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, and share. Been saying it over and over again. Post it to Twitter, post it to your Facebook, post it to Parlay. If you're on there, make sure you're on there. Twitter censors, Facebook censors, Parlay does not. So make sure you get there. How are things on your end, Vince?
Okay, am I like glitching out or am I here?
The video is a little laggy, but the audio is fine.
Okay, well, that audio is all I need. Yeah, is it pronounced parlay? I've always pronounced it parlor.
It's pronounced parlay, but spelled parlor.
That is hilarious. I've always pronounced it parlor, but yeah, for sure.
I understand.
Definitely make sure you guys add us on Parler. Parler is a very good social media site. It's
very
crazy.
good
It's
social
like
media.
One site where conservatives can actually voice their opinion without being censored or shadow banned or screwed out of algorithms. But yeah, absolutely, 100%. So one last thing I wanted to talk about here.
Yep. What is that?
You have these. Sorry, did I cut out?
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So obviously you have so many black lives being ended as a result of rioting. Okay. To the left, why doesn't and I'm not going to say the left. I'm going to say the radical left, because there are a lot of people on the other side that agree that this lawlessness is ridiculous. Okay.
Yep.
But you have so many people who apparently black lives only matter when they're ended by a white person or police. You have the far greater epidemic of black on black violence and black on black murders that goes totally unignored by Black Lives Matter and the left. But on top of that, to the people defending these riots, you literally have black people being killed as a result of these riots, and nobody cares. Nobody is counter-protesting these riots. Nobody on that radical side is counter-protesting these riots. And it's absolutely insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's actually break down something. Okay,
Go ahead. Yeah.
the radical left who are rioting and supporting the riots in this country argue somehow that this system is so fundamentally oppressive towards black people that this is like, yeah, like this is the only solution. Like, number one answer you'll hear is it's the only way for us to be heard. But number two is like the system is so fundamentally broken that we need to like basically violently overthrow it. First of all, it's ironic because the majority of those people who make these same arguments are the same people who tell us that the premise of the Second Amendment is ridiculous, that gun ownership is ridiculous, that self-defense is ridiculous, that the idea that government can turn tyrannical and that's why we should own guns is ridiculous. These are the same people who are saying we need to violently, suddenly now it's like we need to violently overthrow the system, when yesterday it was we need gun control and nobody should be allowed to basically be able to overthrow the government even if it turns oppressive. Okay, that's number one, and that's very stupid. But on top of that, is the system actually that oppressive towards black people? Even if you think it's somewhat oppressive, do you think it's so oppressive that it's like it's just such a systemic, deeply wound problem? Like, okay, let's talk about the issue of police brutality. There's this narrative being presented by the other side that essentially argues that police brutality is such a deeply systemic institutional problem across our country. My only problem with that is I don't really see data to support that claim. In 2019, 9 unarmed black people were killed by police. And obviously, ideally, we'd like to have a world where no unarmed people in general are killed by police. But obviously, you have incidents where, you know, black people or just people in general, the suspect in general, fights with the cop, right? So you can't, you like to have a world where there's no unarmed deaths from police, but you have 9. Compare that to the number of 9 killings out of 323 million people in this country. Compare that to the number of killings done by other black civilians towards black people. Just statistically speaking, in the United States, you are exponentially, like at least 100 times, depending on whatever stat you use, you are at least 100 times more likely to be killed by another black civilian than you are than you are as an unarmed person facing the police. So when someone says that like police brutality is such a widespread problem, like statistical context actually matters. Like you can't just look at these numbers. Like you have to compare these numbers. Like, oh, 9 people a year. What does that really mean, right? Statistical context.
Oh, I think we lost him again. He's Dao. You there? I'm just seeing the loading thing. All right, so what Dao was basically talking about was just going over the stats in comparison to unarmed police killings of a police person killing an unarmed person in relation to a black person killing another black person, whether they were both armed or one of them is armed and the other was not. And killing in that form. I'm trying to see where Dao went. Is he? I know he has some pretty sucky internet these days, so he might have just dipped out on me. We're still looking for Aadi too. I don't know where he went, but I guess this is my live stream now. What's going on, people? It's the Chandler Crump Show, running it live with my boy Mark Miller, hip hop thinker, Yum Joy Style, GA Bunny, and Lunatic Liberal. Lunatic Liberal says he just bought 2 guns today. I like the sound of that, Lunatic Liberal. Everybody's doing good. You got to keep your home safe because these riots are going on all over the nation. There's a lot of stay-at-home orders on top of the curfews. We've got some curfews going. We got to stay safe, everybody. Murphy McDougally says, Chandler, rest in peace to Fred Hampton, a patriot killed by a domestic terrorist shooting in Chicago in December. Media didn't report on that. Interesting. This is the first time hearing of it, too. I'll have to do some research on that, but rest in peace to that man. I hope his journey served him well. Jersey Report says, you're a smart guy. Why on Dumb Show? You guys are so rude to my boy Dao. He didn't deserve any of this. Dao's a great guy. Thank you guys so much for joining us, though. If you are just getting in here or you've been in here for a while, I'm going to say it again. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Notifications on. Make sure you hit that share button. Hop on Parlay. Give us a follow. Hop on Twitter, Instagram. Give us a follow. I'm going to try and see where my boy Dao went. Where is he at? Can't have a co-host disappearing. And this is honestly his show, so he's the host. Here, I'm just hopping on. How you guys doing, though? Let me know in the comments below how your day was. I know it's been pretty stressful for all of us, but I think we've been doing pretty okay. At the very least, it doesn't seem to be as bad as it was last night. I'm not sure, but let me know in the comments how you're doing. Oh yeah, Joy, were you there when we had the Democrat debates? Because you're speaking about how he's a good guy when he's not falling asleep. It just reminds me of the Democrat debates. Those were hilarious. YouTube would always come at me for trying to live stream them, and I guess I understand, but come on, man. I'm just trying to restream the debates. Shout out to Mark Miller. He just sends a $30 super chat. He says, sending some love, who is with me. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much. It's been a crazy week, to say the least. I mean, there's this one tweet I saw that pinned it so perfectly. We went from tyranny to anarchy just like that. Like, imagine a system where you can't even leave your home and you can't open your business without being arrested. We saw that with Shirley Luther. And we saw that with those girls who tried to open a barbershop in their home to make revenue, give people haircuts. They got arrested. And then you had to get the Attorney General, the Supreme Court, and the governor of Texas to free you from jail. And now suddenly, you can run into a store, steal whatever you want, leave, and nothing will happen. You can throw bricks at somebody, nothing will happen. You can do whatever you want. I mean, if you guys were there for my live stream, I spoke about this in length. I spoke about how, and I showed video as well, of this woman. She was driving down the street. She stopped her car in the middle of the riot, hopped out of it, ran into a store, and came out with 4 boxes of shoes, threw them in the car, and drove off. That's just the kind of state we're in. So I think that tweet was very eloquent and very good. All right, so Dao has informed me that his computer just crashed, so we're gonna hold it down for you guys until he returns. But yeah, let me just let him know everything is okay. Bailey Westress has followed you on Insta and YouTube. Thank you, Bailey. I hope everybody else follows in your footsteps. Susanna Donovan says, I had to stay home today because of the protest because I cannot go across the bridges where the protesters are located. I wanted to go to this cemetery across the river where my parents are buried. I'm so sorry that happened to you, man. Or miss, I should say miss. I don't want to misgender anybody, but this has all been crazy. Conservative Rant says, communist takes guns and we are becoming a communist country very quickly. If you guys heard about it, I believe it was a month or so ago, in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, the Prime Minister of Canada, Trudeau, he signed the thing, and now you have to turn your guns in Canada or you're in violation of the law. Right in the middle of a pandemic when nobody else can really oppose him, your guns are gone. That's what happens when you elect a liberal that's what happens when you elect a liberal government into office. And I spoke about it earlier, how I believe 9 out of 10 of the protests that eventually turn into riots that have been happening in this nation are all happening in Democrat cities, Democrat states, where it's down the line Democrat. I mean, look at Los Angeles. I mean, I believe the mayor, county commissioner, or CEO, or whatever they call it, and then governor, completely Democrat, as well as city councils, state senate, state house, all Democrat, 100% across the line. Nothing else throughout the entire state, just full Democrat. And I've made some of you guys, most of you guys are probably watching me because of the video I made about it, where I talked about the homelessness in Los Angeles, homelessness in San Francisco, the fecal matter in San Francisco. Okay, Dow's back. I'm gonna just wrap this up. And just all the just terrible things you see in these places where you elect Democrats and they run things for years. You look at New York, you look at California, and now you're looking at places like Minneapolis or Chicago where these riots have been happening. People can run in, steal things from stores, run out, and your store just dies because nobody's going to step up and do anything. Democrat leadership is weak leadership, and there's no doubt about it. What's going on, Dow? How are you doing? Audio is low. Can you turn that up a little bit? Should be in your settings, I think. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us through some of these problems. It's been a fantastic stream. It's been fun. But yeah. Okay, Murphy McDougalley is correcting me. He says, Chandler, I hear you, but that was actually a gun buyback program that was universally backed by the country. Don't want you spreading misinformation. It makes you less reliable. All right, I'm going to look into that a little more. Gun buyback sounds about like it, but I also don't know if it was universally backed by the country because I've met numerous people, including some liberals from Canada, who weren't big fans of guns being taken off or bought back. I mean, we've seen all over the world guns being taken back, including in Australia, even though they try to sell you something completely different. It doesn't fix anything. Now, how's the audio now? It's still really low. Try to turn it up some more if you can. Frank the Bunny says, nothing is ever universally backed. Don't want to spread misinformation. There you go. Is it all the way up? Oh, okay, hold on. Try now. I just heard a click. Yeah, it's still really low. Yeah. How is it? Well, what did you have before? You had it going through your webcam, right? What's it going through now? I can hear you just a little bit. I can understand you, but it's not good enough to like talk. Did you Did you have anything running earlier that like boosted your audio at all? It's still really low. Is that just me? Can you guys hear him fine? Because it could just be me, but I don't know. It sounds extremely low. Yeah, I cannot. I'm sorry. It's not working. I can't hear you. Try to. Yeah, can you guys in the chat hear him? Because it's extremely low for me. Let's keep jumping off it so we can fix things. Good stuff, Diane. How is it? Do you have like another microphone you can plug in to use, like your headphones? Okay, I think he's getting, yeah. They're saying they cannot hear you. Try to see if you can connect something. Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead now.
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you go. Fixed it. Phew. All right.
Yeah. So,
phew, we missed you for a little while, Dao. Go ahead.
So, Chandler, I guess I was talking about what I was talking before. So, Chandler, do you think policing and just the country in general is systemically racist towards Black people? Because I don't see data that really supports that.
Nope.
You look at the number of police killings of Black people in a year. Black people, very low number, and if you want to compare it to white people, all these other demographic groups, it basically lines up, not necessarily the population, but to general crime rate, right? Because if you have crime, the more crime you have in a community, it just logically equates the more police killings you will have in that same community. Do you think policing and police brutality, or policing and just the country in general, is systemically racist towards Black people? Because that seems to be the justification for these riots here.
I do not believe that whatsoever. I believe we have a very fair country. What I do believe is that we have a systemic cultural issue that results in Black people suffering our laws so much worse. And I should take that back, because there are some laws that, though they are not designed to, are affecting Black people more than they could, like especially the Clinton crime bill. I don't know if that's still in effect to this day. And we have the First Step Act, which relaxes a lot of those things, which Trump got through both the House and the Senate. We still have a lot of issues that we're dealing with, but I don't believe it's like a systemic thing. I believe it's just leftovers from a bygone era, things that Democrats still want to support and are still just going to leave up to go there.
Yeah, 100%. And like, as we'll say many times, like, I'm sure there are racist cops out there. I'm sure there are bad cops out there. But as a general rule, I just don't frankly see evidence that policing spread across this country is just being done in a racist fashion and is racist. I just don't see evidence of that. You have the one case of George Floyd, and those were all bad cops involved. But you've had basically like every other police officer who's outspoken in the country has come out and said that was wrong. So you can't simply look at this one anecdotal incident and pin all policing in this country like, oh, it all looks like what happened to George Floyd. No, it doesn't. And you know how we know it doesn't? Because we collect so much data in this country on crime and on police killings, and there is just no data to support the fact that unarmed Black people are just getting massacred in large numbers by like the thousands or whatever in the streets. In fact, when we look at just the data of the way people die in this country, we find that the biggest, in terms of murder, the biggest threat to Black Americans in the country is being killed by another Black civilian, not by a cop. The actual number of cops that kill Black civilians, especially unarmed Black civilians, is very low and not disproportional when you consider crime rate and population.
Yes. I believe the biggest issue between Black people is between the Black community, I should say, is our culture. I've addressed this so many times. Our culture went from, the nuclear family, mom, dad, son, daughter, dog, mom and dad go to work, son and daughter go to school. And now it's just turned into all sorts of villainous things that have become a household name within our culture. For instance, murderous things constantly being talked about in like rap. Rap is a whole different thing. I'm not even like 100% against that. But there's also like other examples. Like we used to have the Cosby Show on the TV, and now we have Real Housewives as the example of the Black female, or as the example of the Black family. There's some rapper husband who's barely around. He's got kids with all other women. Some child who's barely learning anything in school, hyped up on drugs more than half the time, always at a party, barely in your life at all. It's all these cultural things that are just adding up to make the Black community just not look good at all, not be successful in any nature. And then we're all in these poor communities. And then we've also, like I said earlier, we're getting a lot of us killed, disassembled in the womb before we were even born, take our first breath. It's a lot of cultural things that are involved within our race that just isn't getting us anywhere, and it's taking us backwards rather than forward. And a lot of that has to tie back to all of the actions that were taken by Democrats in the 60s and 70s that poisoned our culture for many years to come, even to this day. And they still have us mentally hooked on the drug that is voting for the Democrat Party. You vote blue, no matter who, and you go to sleep, and that's all you do. Go ahead, Dao.
And if their argument is like, this is somehow linked to George Floyd, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Minneapolis is like a hardcore blue city. I'm sure the police chief and whoever was elected in the power there is a Democrat, right? And so to act, I mean, if you want to look, if you think that there is this problem, perhaps you should look to the people who are actually in charge, right? Don't look to Trump, because Trump is not in power of like what the small scale things that happen in this one precinct with police. You know, you should really look at who's leading the local community. Okay, so for those of you guys watching on Aadi Bhanti channel and wondering where the hell he is doing something right now. It's actually important what he's doing right now, and I don't know if he's gonna be joining us or not. But if you're from his channel, hopefully you still enjoy this and still enjoy us, so you won't like just leave. I don't know, Chandler, do you want to actually like maybe hop on and maybe you can share your screen of one of the new stream we have basically of riots right now, because I did advertise this as riot coverage. So would you like to like start reacting live to some of these videos?
Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can find. What I'll do is I'll share it. I'll have it set up real quick here. Which one is that? On Twitter, I believe it's that one. Okay, should be able to see it. This screen here. Can you? Well, let me. Okay, yeah. All right, this is my screen. All right, you can take it off while I look for some stuff. But unless you would just want to keep it on, I'm just gonna look for things here. Oh, that's nice. I like this. You have a good setup going here. I like this.
I know it's so easy, right? But
it's pretty easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, actually, yeah, somebody mentioned this. Let me see if I can find video of it. But according to somebody in the chat, St. John's Church was lit on fire. The historic St. John's Church in Washington, D.C. It was on fire. Thankfully, it looks like it's no longer. Okay, so I'll show you guys this. So fire was in basement of St. John's and is out. My Washington Post colleague reports from DC Fire Department. Firefighters got there with a police escort and quickly put out the blaze. Did not appear to cause any significant damage, and it is unclear how it started. Let's see here. Fire at the St. John's Church. And then, yeah, I'm trying to find some more about this if I can. So we're just going to... Yeah, there you go. St. John's Church. I thought so. So reporting the historic St. John's Church in Washington, D.C. being burned by rioters. So I'm not sure which story is true yet because I'm hearing conflicting things here. I'm hearing that it was started in the basement, but let's see here. Actually, let me fix it so it has the audio real quick. Let me do that for you guys. St. John's Church, share audio. Boom. Okay, can you see it now? Put it up. And then
John's
we'll see
Church is on fire. The
Can you hear
parish
it?
office. We went down on fire. I'm going to walk this way, and this is awful. We saw graffiti. Once the door was broken, we saw something similar happen earlier. And as you can see, there's definitely a fire here. This is the parish office. Here, come on back.
Yeah, that looks,
come on back.
Looks like a bit of a rider.
Come on back up. That's good.
Yeah.
So they're trying to clear the area, Shannon, with the pepper spray and with the
so look at those
gas to try to clear people.
Was that an explosion? Oh,
no, I don't know that there's anything we can do to put that out.
Fires all over the place. This is going to confuse some of our older viewers, but if you guys have ever seen the game Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Washington, D.C. is starting to look a lot like one of those missions in that game. And keep in mind, this was a mission where, in the game, of course, the Russians invaded the nation, bombed things, and it was World War III, literally. That is exactly what Washington, D.C. looks like right now. There was this image I saw. I need to start saving these things because it was amazing. It was an aerial view. I believe it was the RSBN that posted it, so I'm going to look through their feed. But it was an aerial view of Washington, D.C., and it was scary. Hold on. Is this the right? I think this is the right account. It might not have been.
Was it where there were just like fires across the city?
Yes,
like
it was just it was just pillars of smoke rising, and it was the same like time of night as in the game. Oh, here's a good image right here. This is look at this fire, look, those lights, there's people. You can't make this stuff up. I'm gonna keep looking for that image, but it's still horrific the amount of things we're seeing just across this nation, and especially in our capital. And it's all being funded and organized by this one group of Antifa, this whole cell. They're getting bussed out, fed all across this entire nation, and funded by people close to Joe Biden, various other people on the left, and just a lot of different people. I'm not going to name too many other names because I don't want to get too far into that quite yet. I might have to make a video about that, but you can just look at this. I showed this on my stream, but I cannot get enough of this. They're literally looting an Amazon truck. Look at this. That person's running off with a package. Hold on, let me zoom in so you guys can. That person's running off with a package.
That are supposed to come from Amazon. They might literally be in that truck, and they just got looted by a bunch of.
That was in Santa Monica, California. Is that close to you remotely?
It's kind of like, but the truck could have been on its way to.
It could have been. It could have been. That's very possible.
I'd be very pissed if these thugs actually took that down. Anyways. So some of you guys might have seen me just like looking off to the side, and I look startled. So I live in an area in LA where it's not really like at the epicenter of the riots or anything, but I just heard someone set off a bunch of explosives. It might have been fireworks. I don't know what it is, and I think it sounds like they're still going off. But it had to be somewhere close to the house because I actually heard it. So I just want to let you guys know that was actually what I was like looking over at. It's just absolutely crazy. I'll tell you, I think where this all started was when the police surrendered a police precinct to the protesters, should not call them protesters, the rioters in Minneapolis. Because the second that happened, what you saw was everyone felt so emboldened, right? Like all these rioters felt like, dude, if we can take over a police precinct, what can't we do? And that's actually true. If they can take over a police precinct and they're allowed to do that, what are they not allowed to do? And that's the situation we're in. It's absolutely ridiculous. The police should have never done that. I don't understand what the hell they were thinking, whose idea it was to surrender that instead of actually defend it. Absolutely ridiculous. But all I know is I think that's frankly a fatal decision that is really adding so much more fuel to the fire of these riots and this chaos in the streets. I don't see an end in sight. It's absolutely ridiculous.
We've acquired some video of the protesters attacking St. John's Church, so let's get it. Wow, look at them rip that American flag down, and you guys can hear it. They're screaming, yeah. They love that. They love to deface this nation. Dang. That also looks like an Antifa guy up there. Look at that. There's a huge fire. What are they burning? They're throwing the flag in there. Man, oh man. That's got to break something.
I don't understand. If people hate this country so damn much that they feel the need to burn the flag and riot and destroy everything, why are they here?
If you don't like this country, you can leave.
If you don't like this country, you can leave. I played that song briefly on my stream on Friday night. Not enough for it to be copyrighted, but just
it won't get copywritten, so you can play it as much as you want.
Yeah.
You made it that way.
Yeah. But it's ridiculous. Like if I lived in a country that I despised and hated that much, I would do everything in my power to leave. And there are some countries like North Korea or communist dictatorships where you cannot leave. But you do have that option in the United States of America. You have the option where if you don't like it here, you can get up and leave and immigrate to a country that you do like. And that's what I would do if I lived in a country that I hated. So it is absolutely ridiculous to see so many people who hate this country so much, and they're out in the streets right now. Like there's not a single person rioting in the streets right now that is doing it for love of God or country. Like just like absolutely not whatsoever. But it is absolutely ridiculous that people would hate this country so much, but would not do all of us the basic courtesy of getting up and getting out of the country. Ridiculous.
Nah, it's not.
This is in Long Beach, California. These are live pictures where a number of stores have been boarded up there. It's daylight.
Punching through the boards.
We have just watched as folks have broken through the wood and the glass into what we think is a Ross.
He just ran off with a bunch of jeans.
See, my question is, where are the police? Why are they allowed to do this? And that's what's happening.
It is Long Beach, California. So
the police are literally just standing and watching this happen. Absolutely ridiculous.
They took some notes from Ted Wheeler's book. You know, when Antifa's like attacking people, the Portland cops just kind of stand around because they're not allowed to do anything.
Absolutely. Like this is not controversial. Like the cops should be here trying to stop this from happening. You know, and they're just not. And that's part of why this looting is going to go on for so long.
This person's running off with a backpack.
Because if they see that the cops are not doing anything and are not going to stop this, then more and more people are getting on board with stealing this. It's just pathetic, you know. But it's true. If you could steal something, if people are allowed to steal things from stores with no consequences, that's what they're going to do, you know.
It's really sad to see all of this, especially
this is happening live as people
live at the time
items and now leaving the store. It was just moments ago as we were going to commercial.
They're literally robbing a clothing store. They're stealing purses. Nothing in the purse, just the purse itself.
That is able to
get this guy out the way. I'm trying to see this.
Stop these folks. Again, Long Beach, California.
Oh my God.
As we watch this, and
are they stealing tissue boxes?
Riots and criminal activity across
the country. They're just stealing anything they can get their hands on.
It's not about what they're stealing. I feel like it's just more the message they're sending that they just don't care about authority whatsoever. It doesn't matter to them. What is this? When Antifa runs into the NYPD. Oh, wow. See if I can zoom in on this.
Get him.
Oh, it's lagging. I hate when this happens.
Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, there we go. It's a little pixelated.
Oh,
dang. Yeah, they don't play around.
Nope. NYPD not playing around.
Yep. That's exactly what I've been talking about, because Antifa, they hate this nation so much that they're willing to just curse out anybody. They have no sense of decency. It's just, oh, F you, F America, F capitalism, F this, F that, F, and F. It's like, well, what do they really have anything else to say? They can't defend any of their arguments or make any points or even make any change in this nation, aside from running up to somebody and throwing cement at them and giving them chemical burns, throwing hands with them, and then eventually getting knocked out because they're a little too scrawny to do any fighting. There's this one GIF, I think, of a Proud Boy and an Antifa person fighting, and the Proud Boy just knocks him out with one shot, and Antifa just falls down. And there's like 3 other Antifa, but they, like, even together, they're not enough to knock out the guy, so they just run off. I think it's just very emblematic of their movement. It's all talk, but no game.
But do you know what's very pathetic about Antifa? If you notice, they never fight unless they drastically outnumber their opponent. As in, like, at least 10-1. Like, unless they have huge numbers, they don't attack because they're a bunch of weak, pathetic people. You know?
Hold on, let's look at this. That's jeez. Wow. Yeah, sorry, Vince. You just got demonetized. Sorry about that one. Wow. Wow. Imagine the burns that could have come from that, because that is, even if it's just for a second, that is very hot. Plasma is not something to play around with, and light is plasma. Watch that again. Wow.
Holy.
Jeez. I mean, they don't play around. Exterior lights at the White House turned off. That's crazy. This is just all these sorts of things we're seeing in this movement now because of Antifa. They always find a way to rear their head in our lives and find themselves, deciding what we can and can't do by getting in there. Let's see. Hold on. Andy No tweeted this out. Attention, Antifa comrades. Today marks the end of an almost 3-year operation. Our infiltration of your movement was a success, and the faces and identities of everyone who has attended or financially supported Marxist and seditious activities has been recorded. The countless patriots whose lives you have ruined and families you have terrorized will finally be avenged. No longer will the American people tolerate your red terror and subversion of everything we hold dear. We have identified dozens of militants and sympathizers in local politics and academia, including professors at University of California, Irvine, and local DSA officials. The reckoning is here, and you are all going to feel the wrath of a nation who has finally had enough of your games. Enjoy prison. Wow. And then Andy No, the reason I say this is because Andy No quoted that and said, I wonder what that is about. That was very confusing. I don't even know, like, what is this, like? Okay, so this is a pro Antifa account, Antifa comrades. I don't even know.
Hold on, wait, put it up again. Wait.
Oh, sorry, I clicked through stuff really fast.
Antifa comrades.
Can you read it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh wow! So is this like an undercover account or something like that?
I have no idea. It's
It looks
followed
like
by
it.
Andy No.
Yeah, I think this is some type of like undercover account. Wow. I sure hope they are brought to justice. Yeah. So my dad just texted me. So yeah, the rioting and violence is now coming to my somewhat close to my community as well. It is ridiculous. Like I don't think there is a safe corner in any major city in this country.
Fake president. What is this about? You have a fake president hiding in a bunker. What? Hold on, let me just go to his account. There's nothing new. I don't know what they're talking about. Remember how Trump bragged he alone could fix America? We have a cowardly fake president hiding in the basement. He's afraid to face the social unrest he has stoked. I think the image behind me begs to differ. You like to attack the people that stoke the flames of a riot. CNN did exactly that, and they faced the consequences a couple days ago.
What in the world are they talking about? These riots are a left-wing movement, and that's undeniable. So how could it be that the right-wing president is the one stoking these? You know, and I will say I think President Trump could be and needs to be a lot tougher on these riots. I do feel like he's sort of been like soft or trying to like keep the peace, but I don't think it's working. Like I think he needs to be a lot tougher, at least rhetorically, because I know he actually doesn't have the authority to send in the National Guard. Like that's the job of the governor and the mayor. But I do think President Trump needs to take a much tougher stand against these riots, because what's happening in our country right now is absolutely ridiculous. It's terrorism. And we are literally like watching our country crumble before our eyes. I think he does need to step up more, but to pretend like this is somehow his fault, I mean, it's nonsense.
LA County enforcing a curfew now just proves that this country thinks that black people are more dangerous than a virus.
Idiot alert! Wow, that is one of the most. This is a downright stupid tweet.
Ring the bell.
I don't know who that person is, but I can downright say they are a stupid person by tweeting that. That is absolutely ridiculous. First of all, LA County was very strict on the coronavirus lockdowns, but beyond that, for the gazillionth time, it is not just black people who are rioting. In fact, most of the violent aspects of these riots are being started by white members of Antifa. Right? Am I freaking wrong there?
I can't say you are. Now, is the audio okay? Yeah, I thought the audio cut out for a second. What is Condola? I've been seeing this trend. Oh, this is about a show. I'm so caught up. Okay, yeah, there's a show premiering. That just goes to show you that this isn't much, because we always find something else to distract ourselves with. Some show on HBO, and then some people from a show, it appears. Great. And then another show, and then protest. This is it. Number 5 on the top trend. This is what I was looking for. Okay. Hold on, let me zoom in. This is DC. Sorry about the noise there, but yeah. That was what I was looking for, right at the top of the trend. That is Washington, D.C., with smoke rising right next to the Capitol, or the Washington Monument, excuse me.
This is absolutely insane. How many more innocent people, including people of color, need to get hurt and die before we make the decision as a society? You know what? Maybe we should have law and order on the damn street. Ridiculous. It's insane. And like it's just happening like everywhere. It's terrible.
Yeah. And then you mentioned his fiance at the beginning of this stream, but now his brother is coming out and says, this is Paris Denard, if the blood family of George Floyd says his brother wasn't about this type of multi-city rioting and looting, let's all stand united as one and demand peace, nonviolent expressions, and justice to truly honor this man's life. The family is calling for peace, which is a quote to the original tweet, which says, my brother wasn't about that. George Floyd's biological brother says he condemns the violent protests across the country and is calling for peace. Let's watch this video real quick.
Spirit of my brother to go and tell the people, I'm outraged too. I feel sometimes I get angry. I want to bust some heads too. I want to just go crazy. But I'm here to just. My brother wasn't about that. My brother was about peace. My brother, he was you'll hear a lot of people say he was a gentle giant. You know, you'll see him coming, you say, oh wow, he's a big dude. But then when you talk to him, when you speak to him, he's all about positivity, motivation, you know, and I just can't believe he's gone. And I just had to come down here, you know, to speak to people and let people know that just channel your anger elsewhere. Don't tear up your town. Don't. All of this is not necessary because if his own family and blood is not doing it, then why are you?
It's so amazingly sad to see all the strong black men that are fighting for peace and are fighting for logic and reasonable thinking. And then this whole next generation of the black community is out here running around attacking people. The lines of gender are being blurred. And so now black men and black women, they aren't so easy to tell them apart anymore. And we're all just emotional now. We just can't rationalize ourselves and control our emotions to the point that we're just out here shooting each other up, killing each other. And if you aren't in prison, you are in jail. And if you aren't either, well, then you are probably aborted before you were born in the first place. And that's just where my community is at right now. And we're trying to make actual change by electing leaders that are actually going to make changes in this nation, like President Trump or various other people, both on the left and the right, because we had Vernon Jones, who is a former Democrat, but he stood for a lot of the same values I do. And yet we try to push for these types of things, and we get called all these names, and we get rejected from the movement and rejected from the community and uninvited from the cookout, all because we're trying to make a change in this nation that just hasn't changed in a way it has before. We're trying to do things that they just don't like. And that's very sad that they can be so closed-minded that they just can't accept what we have to say. Chaos and mayhem.
And honestly, I think a lot of these people, especially the non-black people who are engaging in this meaningless violence, don't give a damn about minorities or the black community or anything. I think they're legitimately just using these people and this so-called movement as an excuse, just to commit mayhem, to steal stuff, and to light crap on fire. Like, I don't think these people genuinely care about any of this stuff. Like, at this point, and I'd have to imagine at this point, it's just like sort of fun. Like, in a way, like, it's fun. Like, oh, we just go out and cause chaos. You kind of have a thrill out of it. It's adrenaline. George Floyd's been totally forgotten on all this. It's not about George Floyd. It's literally just mob mentality. Oh, we can go do destroy stuff. Let's all go do destroy stuff.
Looking at some pictures here of people that were protesting in Boston. Doesn't look like it got too violent. Aside from that fire, were things just people walking with signs. So proud of the city. Boston did not come to play. Standing outside of Tufts Medical Center. And then, I can't believe I'm 66 and still protesting. You're not really protesting the same thing, to be honest, but you know what? I think you should be able to leave what you want. What the heck? Huh? Okay, I hope that's just to represent male and female and not some sort of cross. Oh boy. Let's see, what else are we seeing here? Boston. Yeah, just... There you go. Wow, I like this a lot. I'm going to post this to my Instagram later, but not all blacks are criminals. Not all whites are racist. Not all cops are bad. Ignorance comes in all colors. That is so powerful.
That is absolutely the message we need.
Copy that down. I need that. Yeah, what you'll see on the mainstream media is just supposed to stoke an emotional effect. So you're seeing all these riots and you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't like that. That's bad. And it is bad. But then there's also just goodness speckled all throughout. I mean, on my stream, I showed images and videos of police officers and Black Lives Matter protesters coming together, hugging and saying, you know what, we're going to get through this. I have you, you have me, we have each other. Let's move forward. And then you have hateful people, and I hate to say it, on both sides, because you have Antifa on the left, and then you have some very racist people on the right. And either way, they are both very hateful people. They aren't going to come together. What we have to do is cultivate the people that are actually going to put their emotions, put their I'm trying to think of the word, their pride, there you go, put their pride aside and say, it's time to move forward. We have things we need to fix, but I also want you to know that I hear you. I want you to hear me, and I want us to work together, and I want us to get things done in this nation. I mean, that image right there of that lady, this black lady holding this amazing sign right here, is a sign of unity. And that's what we need more than ever in this nation. You have the mainstream media sowing racial division any chance they can. We need to fight that. And to fight that, we need to come together. That's exactly what we got to do.
Yeah, we all need to have like racial unity. in this country. As I said previously in this stream, racial division is a hindrance to American progress and to American greatness. 100%. You know, and that racial divide is something that has held us back as a country for so long. You know, like from our very inception, it's been something that's been holding us back, and holding back our country from being great. But we're in a situation where we have the choice now. We have the choice going forward. Do we continue to be held back by the same exact, you know, racial division that we had before, or do we choose to actually go forward as a nation? You know what I mean? And it's sad to see so many members of our society choose the radical extreme opposite of coming together, as in literally throwing stuff, committing violence, and trying to kill each other. It's ridiculous. It's just so sad, as someone who actually cares about this country, that doesn't burn the American flag. It is just so sad to watch, you know, my country basically come undone like this. I mean, this is really, in terms of 2020, what it would look like. I mean, this is essentially civil war that we are now have in our country, because it's just there is more or less, this is like war on our streets. You know, this is not, it's not peaceful demonstration. This is not how public discourse. There's no discourse being had out there. It is simply just meaningless violence and people hating and trying to kill each other. And we need to be better as that as a country, because we created such a good thing here in this country, like both our founders and all the people along the way who have built up this country. And it is literally being destroyed, not by China, not by Iran, not by ISIS, not by Nazi Germany. It is literally being destroyed by ourselves. Like we as Americans are choosing to destroy our own country, and I don't understand it. It is so self-destructive, and none of the people who are really doing this have a place in our country. Like, they need to get the hell out of the United States of America. If you don't like this country so much, you can leave.
We've been saying it over and over again. There's so many people out here that simply don't want to make this country better. They just want to watch it burn. And to them, I say, you can leave. You don't like this country, you can leave. And, you know, we can say it over and over again, and we can hope it comes true, but we have a lot of work to do each and every day out in our communities, out in this nation. And it's going to be a very important fight for all of us. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, definitely. I pray for better times in our country. And I mean, unfortunately, I don't see an end near in sight. Like, this is going to at least go on for another week. Who knows what the hell the country will look like at the end of the week. It's just sad, because, you know, what else I've been very depressed about is the fact that, you know, small business owners, like those types of hardworking people like that, are the backbone of the United States of America. Like, it is literally the definition of the American dream. Like, you come here and start your own business, and you work your way up and you make that business. Like, that is America. Small business owners are the backbone of this country. They got totally screwed by coronavirus, not just because of the virus itself, but because of, you know, lockdown policies that were so detrimental to their businesses. But then on top of that, you know, the economy's starting to reopen. We're just starting to recover as a nation, and you have a bunch of thugs and domestic terrorists who hate the United States, hate the people in this country, destroying these businesses, setting them on fire, stealing everything from inside these. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I don't know how they're going to recover from all of this, frankly. I mean, and it's just really depressing, because small business owners are like the backbone of the United States of America. Like, they are America.
And yet we've thrown them to the fire, first with the coronavirus lockdown. You know, we had Shelley Luther, I believe I mentioned her early in the stream, and there's probably many other cases all across the country that didn't get as much, you know, television time, but Shelley Luther and many others who dealt with, you know, a tyrannical government coming down upon them, saying, you can't run your business, you keep to run it, we're going to throw you in jail. And throw her in jail they did for a whole night. They got her out the next morning, but still she spent a night in jail, a night, possibly two, I'm not sure. But she spent some time in jail for opening her business. And then now all of a sudden the government's saying, well, we have some cops. You can run and riot and, you know, break into stores, take what you want. We're going to do something? Nah. You know, those small businesses are going to be like, all right, we'll move somewhere else. We'll move to a red state where they'll actually defend my rights. We'll move to Georgia, but not Atlanta. We'll move to like some county around Atlanta where we can still get a lot of traffic, but we'll also have the defense of a strong mayor, a strong city council, and a strong state that will defend my rights and defend my business from being ransacked by something like this, because it's obvious that the way the media is going and the way that modern popular culture is headed, this is going to happen so many more times. This decade has only just begun, and we've already experienced all that we fear. We've experienced very clear examples of what happens when you elect Democrats, because your rights get restricted so much, like it did with the coronavirus, which it was a byproduct, but still we dealt with all of that. And then now we're suddenly dealing with anarchy because we're trying to free ourselves from it. We're suddenly not able to do anything. And then after that, you can just get raided. You get raided by rioters, and that's just the way it goes. Small business owners are being screwed over, and there's nothing that we can do about it until we change the way we vote, change our mind, and change the future.
Yeah, I think the one, I don't want to say positive, but it's the one aspect of this is I do think all of these riots and all of what's going on is making a lot more, is bringing out everyone's sort of conservative tendencies, you know, because when you watch your country get destroyed, first of all, by a radical left-wing ideology, but more than that, when you just watch law and order decay in your country, when you watch, when you watch your country tear itself apart, number one, you have the inclination of wanting law and order, and obviously Republicans, conservatives generally have been more gung-ho on the issue of like law and order in our society. But on top of that, it's like when you watch your country, and there are a lot of people who care about this country. There are so many people in this country who love this country and want to live in this country. When you watch your own country fall apart, the only tendency you can really have, the only inclination you really have is to try to conserve your country, like conserve your society when it's literally threatened by anarchy and lawlessness.
Mm-hmm. I'm reading through something that shows that Lafayette Park, which is very near to the White House, it's dealing with a little thing right now. I'm gonna see if I can find a good video. There's this. This is 2 hours ago, so keep that in mind. But yeah, these are all people that are at or near the White House in Lafayette Park. And then this is when they breached the security barricades and entered the park. Let's look at this. You can always tell an Antifa person from a normal person because they just look so physically different. They always look so like they took a drug and it just sucked everything out of them. That's what it always looks like.
Yeah.
They also just dress different too. Look at this though. Wow. This is the writing we're dealing with right now. It's hard to rationalize anything through all of this. Will logic prevail? That's the question. Will logic prevail?
What we need in America is because clearly the police can't do it. I think what we need in America are for patriotic people in this country to take matters into their own hands. Like we need rooftop Koreans across this country. We need people to go and come with firepower. You know, don't try to come without like at least several rifles and several magazines loaded, you know, but show up to your business, stand on the rooftop, you know, make sure, and look, no, you don't have to shoot or kill anyone. The fact that you are there threatening these people with the fact that, hey, I'm armed, don't mess with me, that will deter a hell of a lot of people. Okay, like we've always known this, like just the mere fact of gun ownership deters people, but that's what we need. Like we need rooftop Koreans. I'm not going to say rooftop Koreans anymore. I'm going to say rooftop Americans. We need rooftop Americans to take this issue into their own hand, to get out there and stand on top of the roofs of their businesses and say, do not enter, do not come in. You are not allowed to come in and loot my freaking business, because clearly the police have no capability. I don't know whether it's not they just physically can't or they're being ordered to stand down, but the police have no capability to enforce law in our society. And so we as Americans need to do it. We've always known the government was not great at things, including really like actually stopping this type of crap from happening. So I think really Americans need to take this stuff into their own hands. We need more patriots to get out there and take a stand against these terrorists.
I want to show you guys this video here. Hold on, let me fix this one thing. Okay, there we go. Let's watch this. They're looting this place. Some guys singing "This is America." Hilarious.
This is Somalia. It's Somalia simulator in America. First we had Venezuela.
You say that, and then you look at this guy's head wrap right here. You have to say it at that exact time.
Yeah, I didn't mean
watch
that.
out for. Oh,
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, wow. Man. This is new, too. This is from a couple minutes ago.
Think about it. We had Venezuela simulator in America during coronavirus, and now we have Somalia simulator. You know? Insane.
I think this is the fastest turnaround we've ever seen in a nation, where it just flips from authoritarianism to just anarchism within a day. Less than a day, because probably the day before that, if you had walked outside, you probably would have been arrested for trying to hit up a store. And then the very next day, you can walk in that store, take whatever you want, leave without paying, and face no consequences.
What happened to COVID-19? What happened to the pandemic? It's just
what are you talking about? What pandemic?
What pandemic? Yeah, what pandemic? What's COVID-19?
I have no idea what you speak of. What the heck? What is this?
If you're trying to call for the end of unrest,
well, let me zoom in.
But you don't believe health.
Hold on. What healthcare?
What does healthcare have to do with police brutality?
But you don't believe healthcare is a human right. If you're afraid to say Black Lives Matter, if you're too scared to call.
She's walking outside with her mask off. Kill her.
Out police brutality, then you aren't asking for an end of unrest. You are asking for injustice to continue and for your people to continue to endure the violence of poverty, the violence of a lack of housing access, the violence of police brutality, and not say a damn thing. That's what you're asking for.
This is the exact kind of fear mongering that keeps Black people down, because we're constantly thinking, oh, well, there's this that's going against me. There's this that is stopping me from being successful. So therefore, it's not even really worth doing anything, because in the end, my skin color is going to bring me down. This is what causes it. We have ladies like this, and all the ladies that are screaming on the news on MSNBC and CNN, or as I like to say, MS13 DNC. That's a mixture of a couple of them, MS13 DNC and the Clinton News Network. It's just keep feeding you all this stuff. Or maybe the Mexico News Network. I quite like that. But still, it's just they're just spoon feeding you all this bull crap into making you think my brother is hilarious. Look at this. We did it, Patrick. We ended racism.
That's genuinely what they think too. That is literally their logic. Literally their logic. Go ahead.
I wonder if my brother made this meme. He made a meme like a long time ago, and it went super viral because it was like Hillary Clinton has killed you, because it was like Hillary Clinton has blocked you, but then it was edited to say killed. He made that meme a while ago. So it says, "We did it, Patrick. We ended it." I wonder if he made this one. I have to ask him, because that's hilarious. I bet I'm gonna see this all over the internet in a couple days. That's amazing. Oh wait, hold on. The guardhouse at the White House has been set on fire. Fire is the language of progress for them.
The White House, and now the police are deploying tear gas.
Dang.
Look.
Where are we going to get the money to rebuild all this stuff? It is insane.
Taxes.
Yeah,
they're just going to tax us more and more. Actually, hold on. I wrote a tweet about that. I'm going to see if I'm going to really promote my own Twitter. I'm going to see if I can find it, because I actually really like what I said. I can't even remember it, but okay. They will burn everything down to ash and say, we built it, we destroy it. But will they actually be there to rebuild it? Or will they demand the government fund the reconstruction of the family-owned small businesses, homes, and other businesses they obliterated? Thoughts? And I think I'm not going to toot my own horn too much, but that's an interesting thing to ask, because there was this video of the guy saying, oh, well, we built all this, so we get to burn it down. We get to destroy it. And I'd be like, all right, let's just say that's true. Let's just say that you built it. Directly you, not some small chance that an ancestor of yours built it, but you built it. Are you going to be there to build it again? If you destroy it, why you would destroy it, I don't know. It's your building. But if you built it, why destroy it? And then if you do destroy it, are you going to be there to build it? I don't know. Signs point to no. I don't know.
Oh, no. You know what? I know for a fact that person didn't build it. You know why? Because all the people out rioting and looting and doing all this stuff, are clearly unemployed losers that do not. There's no way they pay taxes. In fact, they probably collect unemployment benefits on the regular. Like you have not have one single productive member of society out rioting and looting and doing this stuff. Okay, like there are people. They clearly don't have work tomorrow because they're showing up at like midnight. You know, because that's when the bad stuff happens, is at night. I mean, these are low lives. They don't. They're clearly unemployed. They clearly have nothing productive that they're doing or is going on in their life. They're just a bunch of losers. So they cannot sit there and pretend like it was their tax dollars that built it. Because I know for a fact, damn well, in fact, you have not paid taxes in a long time because you haven't been freaking working in a long time.
Here's another one of those very powerful videos I was telling you guys about earlier. Police officers and protesters praying together.
To everyone, in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. Thank you.
Look at that. And hear that raucous applause. Shaking hands, all that. I feel like I even see a couple Antifa people in there, but you know what? It doesn't matter because none of them are being violent. Seems like at least some of them are being slightly amicable to them all. And you know what?
This is America. This is what America is supposed to be. This is how we're supposed to solve our problems in America. Not by go ahead.
No, you got it.
Yeah, not by hating each other. Like if we chose to come together, well, some of us didn't choose, but we chose to come together and live in this country together. We have to be able to solve our problems together. We cannot tribalize on the basis of race or ethnicity or whatever line. Like we cannot tribalize as a country. We need to solve our problems together as a country. What's the point of having a country where we all live together? Why not all separate and just have a white ethno-state, a black ethno-state, an Asian ethno-state, and Hispanic ethno-state? Like, no. We are meant, as the United States of America, we have to come together and solve our problems together.
Let's see what this is about.
What do you think about the looting?
I don't like looting. It's not a problem to me. It's a part of rioting, but like it's coffee shops and fucking restaurants. Like, yo, they didn't hurt nobody. It's not a big business. You feel me? It's somebody's business. Somebody gonna get up in the morning and be like, damn, I wasn't even a part of this. My whole livelihood is gone. Like, I'm all for looting. Like, it's a part of rioting.
Okay, this guy's also an idiot, but he's slightly less.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Slightly less of an idiot because he's like he advocates for the small businesses, but doesn't realize that even big businesses are in essence small businesses because all the people that work there are still trying to make money. It doesn't matter whether the business is worth $3 billion or $300,000 or $3 for a lemonade stand or something. It doesn't matter. Each and every single business is helping in some way, shape, or form. Of course, there are some businesses that are straight up, killing things, but that's like a minuscule, very small amount. These businesses, whether they're small or huge, they still have an impact on your community. Looting a Target will eventually run that Target away. Looting a coffee shop will run that coffee shop away. It just so happens that the coffee shop may disappear a couple months or maybe even a year before the Target does. But eventually, even Target corporate will say, yeah, that Target, it's been looted one too many times. Let's get it out of there. It doesn't belong there. They grab the cane, yank it out of there, and that's just how it goes. You did it to yourself.
And a lot of people don't realize that these big, even though they're big businesses, they are franchised. And so essentially, they are still a small business. Like it's one person who's not significantly rich who owns that. I don't know if Target's franchised, but there's a lot of different stores like this, like where they're franchised, and so you are still destroying what is essentially a small business, even if it has a big corporate name on it, and you are ruining a small business owner's life who probably is not exorbitantly rich and is not. He's not like CEO. Like he's not freaking Jeff Bezos, whose life you're ruining. You're ruining like a middle class person's life.
Yeah. They're straight up playing themselves and their whole communities when they do things like this. And it's so sad to see that they are actually standing up for it. I see this meme again, but still, they're saying, oh, you know what? The looting is fine. I actually support the looting. I looted something myself. They're proud of it. They're proud that they committed a felony. Or I don't know if it's a felony, but they're proud they committed something that is against the law. Even if you never get caught, it still has a moral price on you. You're never going to forget that you did that, even if it doesn't matter to you. At the end of it all, you're going to look back and say, well, dang, I did that. And you know what? I may have thought it was right at the time, but a wiser, more emotionally understanding, more logical version of me than I was at the time, I look back and say, well, dang, I shouldn't have done that. Because maybe later on, that business left And some kid, maybe you didn't know, you moved out of the community, you got a job, but some kid down the road in the community where his family never left because his mom just stayed there, single mother probably, and the kid just stays there, no jobs. He's like, all right, I'm gonna start slinging yayo, I'm gonna start selling drugs. And that's what he does. He gets caught, he gets in jail, prison for life. That's the end of his family because, you know, he was an only child, single mother. She got old, she didn't have any other children. She already had a kid. Kid goes to prison, that's where the line cuts off. And that's how the black family dies. Right then, right there. And it's an endless cycle of death. It's an endless cycle of failure. It's an endless cycle of end. It's an endless cycle of ending. It just spins until it flatlines, just like the black family. That's how it's going to go until we do something about it. And it all starts from this very stem issue of stopping crime, of stopping looting. It shouldn't be a normalized thing within our culture. And that's what's causing so many problems because things have become normalized within our culture. Single motherhood has become normalized within our culture. Black fathers being in prison are just simply not around. It's a normal part of our culture. Crime is part of our culture. Until we change our culture, until we change our culture and change our mindset, we're not going to change anything but the year. That's all it's going to be.
No, yeah, 100%, 100%. It's so sad because I just know that so many aspects of the country are going to get far, far worse because of this. And it's like these riots aren't even localized anymore. It's like everywhere that's getting destroyed indiscriminately. And so it's almost going to be like there is not even going to be a place to go to move out to. Like where are these businesses going to move out to? These riots at first, like, yeah, it was happening in certain areas, but they're happening everywhere. It's almost like I think you're just gonna have to move to rural America or something. Like everywhere is getting freaking destroyed. Like nowhere is even safe in America anymore. Like Beverly Hills is not safe. Compton is not safe. Nowhere is freaking safe. It's just absolutely. It's just sad to watch our country just fall apart like this. You know, and I'm not down for it. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm willing to predict that there's going to be a wave of people moving not only out of major cities, but possibly even out of suburbs. And we're going to see a re-ruralification. I don't even know if it's a word, but like re-ruralification of America. People are going to move out of the cities because it's like, this is just not working for me because some Democrat got elected and suddenly the whole city just starts to evolve. You know, things start to break down all over the city. You get some Democrat mayor who says, all right, let's drop $1 billion on a public transport thing, and then it doesn't get used at all. That's what happened in Atlanta with Kasim Reed. He got the Atlanta something, I forget, I don't even know what it's called, and we dropped like $1 billion on it and nothing happened. They had to raise the taxes to do it, cost the city a lot of money, cost the people a lot of money, and you're gonna see people start to leave, and you're gonna see a lot more homeless people because the small businesses they used to work at went out of business, and the small business owner who used to own it moved to another state or another city where it wasn't so mismanaged and taxes weren't so high and the government wasn't so involved in your life. It's just an endless cycle. I speak about it before, and you're going to see the people moving out of those cities because they just simply can't handle it anymore. And it's starting to say it. I can't blame them. It's the death of the cities. We're going to see it. That's all I got to say, honestly. We're going to see these cities start to die because of all the crap we're seeing.
You know we haven't talked about yet, I noticed on this stream, and we need to absolutely talk about, is the fact that...
Hold on, I got to give a shout out to Memes Over Outrage, who sent a $10 super chat. She says, you guys are dropping the knowledge. You have more logic than the adults. Spoiled millennials. Out here burning down everything. Keep up the great work. Amy. Thank you so much, Memes Over Outrage. Thank you so much for your support. And also thank you for being a member of my channel.
100%. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. As I was going to say, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, wait. Hold on. I thought I forgot. Oh. Okay. No, wait. I wasn't going to say that. Go ahead. Wait, say something. I got to remember what I was
I'm going to scroll through a little more of Twitter because I feel like there's more going on. I hate that Twitter auto updates now. It's kind of annoying because I lose something I'm looking at. Let's see what's going on. This stuff is still trending. Wait, what's happening in Long Beach? Crazy how Long Beach...
Dude, Los Angeles is just degenerating, okay? It's just... LA riots on steroids, man. It's like freaking ridiculous.
This is what the media failed to show.
But do you know what's so insane about all of this, Chandler?
What?
The verdict hasn't even out yet. The court case hasn't even happened yet.
Oh, it's going to be the fastest court case in American history. I'll tell you that. Because there's not. And you spoke about it at the beginning. Oh wait, hold on.
When it finally happens, because now these riots have slowed it down so much. Yes.
It's Pride Month. Say goodbye to everything else. Coronavirus, forget it. The riots, forget it. We have to celebrate our gay, bisexual, lesbian brothers and sisters. Sorry, Comic Crump is coming out here. He saw those rainbows and he just had to say something. Oh boy.
Well, you know what? Now we can use Pride Month as an argument. We can tell people who are rioting, you are putting a disgrace. You're disgracing LGBT Pride Month and your fellow gay brothers and sisters and non-binary.
Dao, did you just say LGBT? You know that's homophobic, right? You have to say LGBTQIA PP plus.
PP plus?
Yes, PP
It's
plus.
not a regular PP. It's PP plus.
PP plus. LGBTQIA PP plus.
Interesting.
If you don't say the full thing, you are actually a bigot. Actually. No joke about it. Actually.
I wonder. I've refused to listen to CNN the past weekend, but I wonder if they are finally condemning. I saw Chris Cuomo on Twitter feed. I wonder if they're finally freaking condemning these riots, because before their building got assaulted, the rhetoric on the issue was very soft, especially from Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo. Okay, by the way, Chris Cuomo's totally full of crap. Okay, coronavirus liar, fat tire biker, ass kicker. Okay, totally no credibility whatsoever. It is a shock, absolute shock that man is still on TV. But regardless, especially those two, the terrible two. Okay, Cuomo and Lemon. That's how Tucker Carlson says. He says Don Lemon.
Dao,
yes.
Your people don't think that you read the chat. He says, I don't think he reads chats anymore. They're talking about you, because I read the chat. I just can't comment on it as much as I do on my own stream. But don't worry, chat. I see you guys all the time. I actually want to show this video real quick. So looters in California are now fighting each other over the merchandise they stole.
Dude,
here we go.
So much black empowerment right here. So much fighting police brutality and oppressive system. Look at that.
They're fighting over clothes.
It's not even anything good. No, Chandler. They're fighting police brutality. Clearly, can't you see? It's so clearly obvious, right?
Clearly.
What a bunch of freaking morons and losers.
I can't. They're fighting over clothes. Cloth.
Idiots.
This is America. Like the guy was singing. This is where we are right now. We need to have a change.
This is not America. For some reason, we switched up our country with Somalia. Like there was a little mix up, there's a miscommunication. You know what I mean?
The idea is that on November 8th, 2016, we all died, and we're just living in hell now. We're just living in an alternate universe. We're living in clown world. That I can agree with. We're living in clown world. No, this is a very sad video right here. Antifa set fire to a homeless man's only possessions. So, watch this. Antifa dude, he's going like, yeah! Throw the mattress in the fire for some reason. And then there's the homeless guy right there. That's all he has, is to drag it out of the fire. His buddy, and he's very upset too. Let's see if I can turn it up.
Wow, look at all that fighting of oppression going on. Look at that crap, dude. They're fighting so much oppression.
Yeah.
No wonder every freaking teenager on TikTok chooses to defend these people. Look at them. They're just doing so much justice, burning a freaking homeless man's property on fire. I couldn't possibly think of a single better way to fight police brutality and racism in America than that. That's absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to them. Sarcastic. You're a bunch of freaking morons, losers, and terrible people. And the people who burn down a homeless man's property are going to burn in hell. Well, there you go.
Well, they're already burning something. They're getting a feel for what their existence will become. Okay, yeah. Here's him tweeting about it. I saw this like a couple hours ago, but I was a little busy, so I couldn't talk much about it. I think I did talk about it in my last stream though. But protesters in Austin it was in Austin. Set a homeless man's possessions on fire. Scott Pressler is very upset. Where are we getting anywhere with this? I mean.
And some moron teenager will still try to defend it. Ridiculous.
No, there's moron teenagers that will defend any and everything they can because they've got to get that edge in, You can't. Hey, it's all for that clout,
And you know what else we need to talk about the fact that these are paid protesters. Okay, like the majority of these Antifa thugs are not from the local area. They were busted and paid to do so. In fact, there's a video I posted on my Twitter, not verified yet, but it doesn't. I don't see any reason why it's not clearly
CEO
what
controversy.
Happened. Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
No, well, look, I have been attacked so viciously for literally saying that people should not break into stores and set them on fire. I've had people from my school try to mass raid and cancel me. I have so many people going and attacking me like crazy now. Here you go. Here's a video.
There's more stuff that we can put out here. Hey, there's 3 picnic tables up here.
What's this guy look?
This is an Antifa leader. Reportedly, he actually is like a sort of a top person in the organization or whatever. But yeah, you see that? He's literally directing people as to like what to do, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, what is all this stuff, man? It's just like cities are burning up. Man. Oh, citizens in Seattle defending their neighborhood with guns.
He has a gun right there in the black shirt.
Oh, here we go.
The guy with the black gun.
America. That's what I'm talking about.
Move
there
on.
You go. Those
Move
are
on.
pictures.
What's a roundabout? Here we go.
All these white people.
All these white people.
Boy, he's a young man with a gun.
Oh my god.
He's like 16.
And
are we just gonna ignore the fact that Black Panthers showed up to Ahmaud Arbery's neighborhood in Georgia after this?
Did you see that picture of the black people that are standing at attention in front of their stores? It's like a line of black-owned stores, and it was like a riot going on, and they were just standing there ready for it.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to see if I can find that again, but that was amazing. So much crazy stuff, man. But I'm glad to see people standing up to defend their neighborhood. I know for a fact.
But you know, it's crazy.
Very necessary.
How can you look at the rioting and looting and chaos going on and criticize white people, quote unquote, for trying to protect themselves with guns? Like you literally see people dying in these streets, police doing nothing, crap getting set on fire, and some moron out there has the audacity to attack some quote unquote white person for protecting their own neighborhood with guns. Are you freaking kidding me? So are you suggesting somehow that Americans across this country should simply let their neighborhoods get burnt down as if that was somehow going to fix police brutality? But Americans in this country should seriously just stand there and let their own neighborhoods and own property be destroyed. And somehow, A, that's going to fix anything, but B, somehow they have this moral obligation where they're not allowed to defend their own freaking property. It is absolutely insane. Okay, the total idiot. The people who recorded that video when we're talking that video, complete idiots, and those are the true deplorables, true irredeemable people that you watch what is going on in your country right now, and you would seriously, unironically criticize someone for trying to defend their own neighborhood from malicious attack of innocent people.
Just some guy 17 says, "How dare those people protect everything they have with a gun?" And I think that's very emblematic of everything we've been talking about so far these last few days, because they're saying ACAB, we need to abolish the police department or severely reform the police, weaken them, make it so they can't be involved in anything. Which are like, all right, that's okay. That's an opinion to have. But then they also have the exact same opinion, and they say, oh, well, we need to get guns off the street. I think we should have a gun buyback, or a gun, not even a buyback, but like a gun turn-in, or you are breaking the law sort of thing. And it's like, you really cannot have it both ways, because a criminal will not give the gun back. They're already in violation of many other laws, and they've already violated many laws in the past. So what you're saying is, and I'm not trying to do that little thing where it's like, oh, you're saying this, but literally what they're saying is that they do not want police and they do not want guns. So what are we gonna do here? You sit at your home, you lock your door, everything, you do all the security stuff, but some guy still manages to kick down your door. And guess what he has in his hand? A Glock 17. Guess what you have in your hand? Oh, nothing, because your hands are up. He's pointing the gun at you. Get on the ground. Run me everything you have in this home. Give it to me now. I'm going to leave. So you're like, oh, no. Your wife's in the other room. All right, I'll call 911. Dial tone. You get nothing. What are you supposed to do? Like, it doesn't add up in anything. And it just seems like none of their takes of any sort of issue are ever from a place of logic. It's all about emotion. Oh, some cop killed a black guy who was unarmed. Abolish all cops. Oh, some guy used a gun to massacre some people. Oh, ban all guns. It's just going to get further and further, because then it's going to be like, oh, just like we saw in London, which is a very similar place to the United States, at least it was before. You have some knives are banned now because it says, oh, you stabbed this guy to death. Oh, we're going to ban that knife. We're going to ban knives above the length of like 3 inches or something. Mm-hmm. Eventually, it's just going to be like a complete tyrannical state of which you have no access to anything. You just have to live with everything. It's going to be like a mix of tyranny and anarchy, something like what we're living with now, where you can't really leave your home, but they can also just let people run into your home and take whatever they want. It just doesn't add up.
It don't make no mistake about it. When you combine their hatred for gun ownership with their tolerance of people destroying their own communities, it becomes pretty clear. The goal of the Democratic Party is a world where innocent people and normal everyday Americans are at the utter and complete mercy of violent criminals and terrorists that can do whatever the hell they want to innocent people. Okay, and they want to live in a world where police are not even allowed to stop those violent criminals and terrorists from protecting themselves, and those innocent people are not allowed to personally stop or have anything to defend themselves against those violent criminals and terrorists. Make no mistake, they absolutely want a world where violent criminals and terrorists rule the streets and have utter and complete immunity from everything and everyone.
Yeah, it's crazy with all this going on, man. But you know what? We just hit the 2-hour mark, and I've been live streaming for a little while, so I'm going to hop off the stream for now. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us. I want to thank everybody that sent a super chat as well. You guys are very important to me. I read all your messages. I read everything I can. I hear everything. I love all the support from all you guys. You guys mean so much to me, and all the constant encouragement from every single one of you is what keeps me going every single day, despite all the things that are going on with, all over. Just want to say thank you. We're going to wrap it up for myself tonight. I believe Dao may continue to stream, but thank you all so much for joining me. Doug Vanderhoop says, Chandler, your wisdom is behind your age. You must continue to stand up, and your voice of reason will always ring true. Thank you, Doug. And aside from all that, y'all, I'm going to end it, or I'm going to hop off here. I'm going to let Dao continue it his way. But aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence.
Okay, now I am by myself. Thank you very much, Chandler. It was great having you on the stream. I think we really had a lot of good, productive, solid talk, 100%. So I don't know if I can end this for Chandler's channel exclusively. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyways, hopefully you guys who are watching right now will stay on, even if you're on Chandler's channel. I mean, we're all homies. It's like, it's my channel, Chandler's channel, whatever. We all bleed together as one. But anyways, I'm going to open up. I guess I'll do what he was doing and open up Twitter real quick. And I'm giving him free watch hours, so hopefully he doesn't have a problem with this. But I'm going to open up Twitter real quick, and I'm going to, I got to click share screen, actually. Share screen. And we're going to keep on following the news. I'll go for about like another maybe half hour to an hour. But we are going to follow what is going on in this country. Now, I don't follow as many news pages on Twitter as Chandler does. So hopefully we're able to actually find news. But here we go. So this video you're watching right now, as you can clearly see, American flag being burned near the White House. Now, once again, I have no idea, frankly, whatsoever, how any of this has anything to do with protesting. What are we protesting again? Was it police brutality? Or was it George Floyd? Or was it like just systemic racism in general? I don't know. Nobody really knows. Nobody has any clue like what this is or what's going on at this point. Not whatsoever. But you got this is absolutely disgraceful sight. Again, as I'll say for the gazillionth time, if you hate this country that much, you can get the hell out. If you don't like this country, you can leave. But what is this? I mean, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? How is this helping anything? What are we helping? What exactly is the problem we are trying to solve? What is it? I don't understand. Nobody even knows at this point what we are protesting. It is simply just, we hate the United States of America. Let's just keep going. Let's just destroy crap and destroy the country. Again, as I'll say, as I said in the beginning of the stream, do everyone a favor, guys. If you have such a gigantic problem with the United States of America that you're going to do this, do the entire country and the entire world a favor. Get the hell out. Okay, don't destroy the country. Don't destroy the flag. Don't go destroying people's businesses. Just leave. Just leave. Go to every country you want. Okay, I mean, you can move to Cuba. You can move to China, wherever the hell you want. Okay, but do not stay in this country and terrorize innocent people for absolutely no reason. If you hate the country that much that you're going to go out here and do this, get out. Okay, every single person who is rioting and looting in our streets right now has no place in our country, they should personally revoke their own citizenship and get the hell out of this country. 100%. They are thugs. There's no legitimacy to their cause whatsoever. Like I'm sorry. I'm very confident about saying this. They are not protesting anything legitimate. They're not actually protesting at all. Okay, they're simply a bunch of morons who want to terrorize innocent people, and that has no place in this country. There's no place for that in this country whatsoever. Here's a nice one. Sebastian Gorka tweets out one question: what kind of person loots? And answer this question in the chat right now if you're watching. Chat, answer me this question: what kind of person do you think loots? Tell me right now. Go ahead. What kind of person loots, guys? I'll tell you what kind of person loots. The type of person that loots is an unemployed loser who simply blames all of their problems on everyone but themselves. 100%. So what kind of person loots is a crappy, terrible person who is a loser that has never done anything productive with their own life. All right, put in the chat right now. What kind of person do you think loots? Huffington Post calls it the first wine club to get it right. It's not a good time for the advertising thing. Should Donald Trump declare martial law? I'm not even sure if that's... we got 69 viewers right now. That's kind of funny. Should Donald Trump declare martial law? Right, it's 2020. Put in the chat right now, guys. Do you think Donald Trump should declare martial law? I don't know if he has the authority to. I'll like that tweet, but I don't know if he has the authority to, honestly. Martial law is usually something that's like... I just got a text. Martial law is something that's usually has to be decided on a state basis, but okay, what's this? Watch. White general manager of a, I don't even know why it matters that they're white, but white general manager of a restaurant in Columbia, South Carolina is knocked out and robbed for calling the police on a mob attacking his workplace. This is just downright disgusting. Okay? It's absolutely morally abhorrent. Absolutely disgusting. Are you guys freaking for real? Are you guys freaking... And again, there's going to be some idiot out there that defends this. Clearly there's going to be some idiots out here that defend this because there's a very large crowd of idiots who are actually doing this. This is absolutely... It's just there's someone still going to say, rioting is the answer. Are you effing kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? You seriously think that whatever, I don't care what problem you feel like you have in the United States of America, justified or not, you really think that the answer is to knock out and rob random innocent business owners that by any objective metric have absolutely nothing to do with the problem? Actually, hopefully what was going on wasn't blocked by the banner, and I don't think it was. But this is literally insanity. This is. I mean, I could just say the same thing over and over again about every single one of these things, but at a certain point, it's just like, are you effing like every single person who was involved in this, every single person who was involved in knocking out and robbing the police, knocking out and robbing this guy, go to hell and get the hell out of the United States of America. There's no place for you here. We do not want you here. We do not welcome you here. You have straight up barbaric, animalistic behavior. Okay, and I'm not unapologetic about saying that. Anyone who does something like this is an animalistic barbarian and does not deserve to live in a country as great and as civilized as the United States of America. There's no place for this crap. Anyway, Ryan Fournier tweets out, Donald Trump is still your president. That is hilarious. Biden holds double-digit lead over Trump in latest ABC poll. Oh, really? Well, let's see how Biden is doing after this. Interesting. It's turning into the purge. It has already turned into the purge. It turned into the purge a long time ago. But yeah, see that? See, look, let's look. Let's look carefully about what this is. See, all you have are a bunch of idiot millennials, and the millennials are the worst generation possibly ever created in the history of the United States. All you have are a bunch of idiot millennials who are getting a sick thrill out of this. They don't care about George Floyd. They don't care about police brutality. They don't care about any cause that has any claim to legitimacy. All this is are a bunch of sick, disgusting, idiot kids who are getting a thrill out of this. It's adrenaline. You know what? Driving around like this, living in the purge, it's adrenaline. Okay. Do we not have any moral compass in this country? Is it are these people for real? There are so many people from my school, by the way, and just so many kids in general that support this behavior, that say that say no justice, no peace, that say that rioting is somehow the answer to our problems. They say that something like knocking out, potentially fatally wounding, knocking out and robbing a general manager at a restaurant because that general manager of a restaurant does not want you to break in and destroy the restaurant. You have so many idiot kids, and I do not say this lightly, like so many members of my young generation who think that this is not only okay, but that it is justified and the correct thing to do. They'll say moronic crap like no justice, no peace, or black people have tried for so long to protest peacefully, and it's just not working, so we have to turn violent. First of all, that's not historically accurate, nor is it backed by any sort of data or anything. But beyond that, even if the answer is we need to go and basically go at war with the police, what in the hell does looting and destroying random businesses and burning people's stores to the ground and burning people's homes to the ground, what in the world does that have to do with police brutality? As I've said many times, and as I'll continue to say many times, first of all, those actions only perpetuate more poverty, which will perpetuate more policing, which will perpetuate more police shootings. So from a purely practical standpoint, that is absolutely idiotic. But beyond that, what did AutoZone do to you? What did Adidas do to you? What did the Louis Vuitton store do to you? Like, stop acting like this is some type of uprising against anything legitimate. It's not. It's not uprising against anything legitimate. It is young people who were failed by their school system, failed by their parenting, failed by their culture, failed by their country, in the sense that they were not brought up with basic values such as it's wrong to steal and destroy and hurt people for no reason. You have a generation of people who were failed by everyone who was supposed to teach them values. You have a generation of young people who were failed by all those people, and this is the result. Okay, this is the result. The result is a bunch of morons defending and engaging in this behavior. I want you to take note of something. When you look around at these riots, look at the age of the people involved, because the people who are rioting are the people who are claiming that it's worse now than it was 60 years ago. You'll notice that the people who are engaging in these riots, you can tell by their age, none of them were around 60 years ago. None of these people lived through segregation. Even as kids, none of these people lived through the days. I'm not saying I did either, but none of these people lived through the days of MLK or the days of real racial oppression in this country. None of them lived through that. None of them know what that's like, But if you look at these riots, you'll notice that I can guarantee you not a single person who actually marched in the civil rights movement is out there rioting and looting and destroying crap. Not a single person. Not a single freaking person. Sure, you might have people out there protesting, but as I've said many times, the right to protest is an American right and people should peacefully protest. But I will guarantee you, you will not see a single person who lived through the civil rights era, who lived through real oppression, or has faced real oppression in this country, out there rioting, looting, and stealing. The only people out there rioting, looting, and stealing are people who have never had it nearly as hard in this country as the people who are against the rioting and looting and stealing. Okay, but these spoiled brats, morons, and idiots are going to go out and try to pretend like they really know what it feels like to be oppressed, like they really know what it's like to live in a racist country. They don't. They have no idea. They have no clue. But they are told. They were told by parents, culture, school system that they have to. That what society is racist. Society hates minorities. America hates minorities. Somehow, no evidence for that. There's no evidence for that. So what do these young people do? They look for evidence of that. And they make up evidence of that. And they somehow use it to justify whatever the hell this is that they're doing. Okay? And I want you to think about this. I have received mass criticism. It's all from young people, by the way. Like there's not a single person over 30 who has actually like confronted me on this. And a lot of them follow me and are active on my posts. Not a single person. All these young people have confronted me for saying things that are so self-evidently true in society, such as you should not be able to break into someone's store and set it on fire. Okay? Look, I'm a conservative, Trump supporting conservative, Republican. I get it. I know I can be seen as controversial, but I'm sorry. Right now is like the least controversial I have ever been in my entire life. Right now, I am saying things and rules that are so straight up like self-evidently true in society, such as you should not be able to burn a store on fire. For condemning that, I have been seen as highly controversial. I have been told that because I am against lighting stores on fire and stealing private property that doesn't belong to me, I have been told that because I am against that, I am somehow a racist that doesn't care about Black lives. I have been told that somehow by being against meaningless violence that actively results in the death of more Black people, I have been told that by somehow opposing that violence, I am some type of racist who hates Black people and doesn't care about Black lives. Do you guys see what's going on here? You guys see what's going on here? What you have right here this is an underhanded agenda of people who want to hold Black people down. They want to hold Black people. They want to hold people of color in this country down. And it's not even like controversial. Like it's so just obvious and in front of your face. You have 30% of this country literally saying that it helps Black communities to destroy Black communities. You have 30% of this country saying that it helps Black people when other Black people are killed by rioting. Are they even hiding it at this point? If you're going to hide the excuse, you're going to hide an underhanded agenda and not allow anyone to criticize that agenda, because if you do criticize, you're racist. You're racist if you disagree with us. If you're going to do that, at least have it be a little bit more subtle. This is plain out in the open. You have people literally saying that if you oppose the destruction of Black communities, you are racist and you hate Black people. They're not even hiding the fact that they are totally full of crap. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on Chandler's stream, but I'm saying they're not even hiding the fact that they're totally full of crap. Not hiding it whatsoever. They're literally saying it right out in the open, and they're making it so obvious to everyone that they are utterly and completely full of crap. What do you guys think in the chat? Anyways, let me know. All right. Because I know a lot of you guys are watching on Chandler's stream. You probably are wondering, who is this Asian kid who's running Chandler's stream? Did Chandler get a hair? Did Chandler grow out his hair or something? No. Chandler left the stream, by the way, if you're just joining in. But stay here, okay? Don't leave the stream. Stay in the stream. We're having fun here. All right. We're gonna go for maybe 12 more minutes or so. Maybe about at 2 hours, 2.5 hours, we'll cut it off. But yeah. Whether underground is really bad. Racist is not an argument. It is a slander, a shutdown. This is very true. But they're not even good about it. You know what I mean? They're not even subtle about the fact that they're just calling you racist because they know they're personally full of crap and can't defend what they're saying. It's one thing, okay, if you disagree with me on gentrification or something, then I'm gonna call you racist. It's not even that anymore. They're literally just straight up saying, if you don't think it's good for Black people for white people in a lot of instances, if you don't think it's good for a bunch of white Antifa people to destroy and burn down Black businesses, then you are a racist that doesn't care about Black people. Do we even have to argue that? They're not even hiding the fact that they're so full of crap. They're not even hiding the fact that their actual agenda is the oppression of people of color. They're not even being subtle about it. When that is your behavior, when that is your logic, when that is your narrative, when that is how you shut people down, It's like literally saying. I mean, this is straight up. Like it's like literally saying. It's not like literally saying. It literally is saying. They are literally saying that if you are against these riots that are killing black people, then you hate black people. Do we even have to like? Do I have to point out why that's full of crap, or can I just? Is it just clear that they are full of crap? They're utterly full of crap. Absolutely ridiculous. Like how can you look anyone in the eyes with a straight face and genuinely make that argument about these riots and about this violence? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, we got some stupid people on, definitely. But anyways. All right. Fake news. Oh, wait. I got to share my screen again. I'm just going to share my screen back to Twitter. Can I do this? No, this one looks better. Okay. Back on Twitter, we're going to be looking at updates and seeing what's going on here. But exactly. Thank you, Burgess Owens. I believe it's possible to be against killing a police officer with someone unjustly while being against violent riots. Absolutely 100%. This is insane. I mean, this is actually insane. If Pearl Harbor happened today, the mainstream media and Democrat Party would side with Japan. That's true. That's a hilarious tweet, actually. So I'm going to go to Breaking 911 so we can see the updates with these riots. Wow. We already played this video, actually, of the looters in California. Bunch of morons, bunch of absolute idiots. NYPD officer appears to point gun at protesters near Union Square. Well, okay, see, notice. So okay, I've said this multiple times. It's simply the fact that someone is armed is a deterrence for these thugs and domestic terrorists. Watch right here. Keep in mind, this NYPD officer, you clearly never had any intent to actually shoot anyone, okay? But look what just happens by the mere fact of him pulling out his gun. Watch this. Now, obviously, the moron rioters are acting like this is somehow police brutality. Oh, you know what? We're totally committing domestic terrorism and terrorizing everyone in these streets and in our neighborhood. But if you point a gun at us, what the hell is wrong with you? You are a fascist who wants to kill people. Like, oh, okay. But look, this is why I keep saying that these riots need to be put down by police simply doing their job. Okay, because like I said before, this cop had no intent to kill anyone, to shoot anyone. But simply the fact, and hell, who even knows if his gun was loaded, or if the safety was even off, or if it was even cocked back, right? If it even had a bullet in the chamber. But just the fact that he took it out caused this crowd of rioters and looters and thugs and terrorists to disperse. We need more of this. We need, and not just from police, because I get it that police are in a position where they're not really allowed to do this, and the officer that did this will probably be freaking fired for what he did, right? But we need civilians. We need rooftop Koreans. We need rooftop Americans to get out there, arm themselves, and make it clear. We are armed. Do not mess with us. I guarantee you these riots, if enough people in this country did that, these riots would disappear. Because these rioters like to steal, but don't get me wrong, they don't want to get killed, you know? And simply the fact, even if you don't even load the gun, but people don't know that your gun isn't even loaded. I mean, so long as people in this country make it clear that innocent people in this country make it clear that I am armed and dangerous, do not mess with me, you looters and rioters and thugs, these people will disperse. Okay, and I think what it's going to take, unless there's two ways these riots end. The first way, or three ways rather. The first way is that police and National Guard and military police start actually doing their job. That's the first way it can end. The second way is we just let it keep going until there's nothing left to steal, nothing left to burn, in which case we won't have a country left. But the third way is for enough citizens and patriots in this country to actually take a stand against these riots. Okay? For enough people to get on the rooftop like the Korean business owners did in 1992 and defend them and say, if you cross this line, you know, we cannot guarantee your safety. I mean, these rioters are not going to mess with them. are you joking? Like no, like these rioters are a bunch of punks. Okay, none of them are prepared to die. Like most of these people probably wouldn't be doing this stuff if they weren't in the position where there was no law and order whatsoever on the streets. And so I simply just think that if enough people take a stand against this, and obviously we need a lot of people, if enough business owners and patriots took a stand against this and took it into our own hands, this would end. Okay? And some council mob's gonna come along saying, well, you're advocating for killing people? How dare you? First of all, these riots are killing people. Okay? Like you have lawlessness on our streets. Sometimes things have to be put down by force. But by the way, I never said that anyone should be that they should shoot or try to kill anyone. All I'm saying is that I just know for a fact that these rioters are not willing to go there. That the simple fact of armed citizens being ready to protect their businesses, I know that simple fact will deter the vast majority of them. Okay? We're ending around the stream we'll end the stream in like 5 minutes or so, nearing 2.5 hours. But right now, we're gonna move on to the Q&A session because I'm really we'll do a Q&A session. Like just put stuff in the chat that you have questions for me or stuff you want to talk about, and just drop it in the chat. We'll talk for a little bit. But it's honest, it's just so depressing to watch my country tear itself apart. You know, I actually, unlike the people out on the streets, I actually care about my country. Okay, and it breaks my heart to see my fellow citizens behaving like this. It breaks my heart to see my country getting destroyed. It breaks my heart to see innocent, patriotic people in my country having their lives ruined, in some cases their lives ended at the hands of a bunch of terrorists and thugs who are exploiting an innocent man's death to push a radical, extremist, violent, I don't even want to call it an ideology because it's not even an ideology. It's heartbreaking. It is so sad to watch my country devolve into this. So sad. I mean, there's been a lot of times where it's just been hard to watch, you know? Actually, earlier today, I was just so down that I had to go and just watch some of my favorite patriotic moments in our country. Like Lee Greenwood singing God Bless the USA after 9/11 at Yankee Stadium. I just had to watch that. You know, I had to watch moments that made me feel pride for my country because it's just, I'm so like heartbroken, and I'm sure you guys are too, to watch my damn country devolve into this with no end in sight. You know, like I get it. Like there are bad people in our country, and I know there are bad people in our country, and I know there always will be bad people in our country, no matter how hard we try to put down those bad people. But what breaks my heart is to watch nothing being done about those bad people. Okay, it breaks my heart to watch a bunch of bad people stealing and looting stuff and terrorizing innocent citizens. But what really hurts me is to see nothing being done about them. Them not being stopped. Them being allowed to rule our country, to rule our streets. It is really heartbreaking as an American patriot to watch my country devolve into meaningless chaos. It's not even a point or an argument. Like it's not even a point to this rioting, and don't try to pretend there is. There's not. Literally, just meaningless violence towards each other. We're literally just destroying each other, destroying our country, killing each other for no reason whatsoever, no legitimate reason whatsoever. Anyway, I'm gonna check this chat right here. New York mayor's daughter got arrested Sunday after breaking curfew. Is that true? Wow, really? So Bill de Blasio's daughter got arrested. I mean, so I don't know how late the curfew is in New York. Like, I don't know if she was just out hanging out. But considering what's going on in the country right now, I would think that the only reason you're out breaking curfews is because you're out rioting. And if that's true, man, Bill de Blasio needs to get his house in order. Hell, he needs to get himself in order. Okay, he's a totally full of crap politician and a liar. But if that's true, wow, that's just freaking insane. Where are the parents? Yep, where are the parents of these people? Aadi, thank you for sharing your thoughts on this sad day. I am not Aadi, just so you know. I'm Vince. By the way, actually, I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. Well, I'll make like a banner of it for those of you guys watching on Chandler or Aadi's channel. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hold on, give me a second. I'll put it up right here. Make sure after this you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Patriot Dao. That's the name of my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to it afterwards. Definitely. But yeah, this is really sad to watch. Thank you for all you guys who have tuned in tonight, by the way. It's amazing. Saw this TikTok today with 1.1 million likes. And you know that picture of Jonathan, that online troll? Well, TikTok, they said Jonathan was 1 point. Yeah. So is this the false picture going around that Derek Chauvin wore a hat that said "Make Whites Great Again"? Okay, this is an obvious bias of social media. They fact check Donald Trump's true tweets about voter fraud. They don't fact check this. Hell, this should just straight up be taken down for misinformation, but they don't even put a fact check on it. Like, fact check, this is literally blatantly freaking false. It's just sad to watch. I mean, our country's crumbling, like right in front of us, and we need to make America great again. Like not even like the campaign slogan. Like, we straight up just need to return our country to what the hell it's supposed to be. We have chaos in our streets. We have lawlessness on our streets. We have people killing each other in our streets with no consequences. We have people burning our country to the ground, literally, both metaphorically and literally. And we have freaking social media companies, which at this point in 2019 are the basis for like free speech in our republic, shutting down free discourse. Like, it's insane. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do. It's sort of, this is all sort of a black pill moment. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, what are we gonna do? You know, how are we gonna rebuild our country from this? So much of our country is gonna be destroyed by the end of this. And I don't say that because I want it to happen. Obviously, I'm just saying it's like this is what's gonna. So much of our country is going to be has already been destroyed, both by coronavirus and by rioting, and so much more. How are we gonna rebuild? What are we gonna do? How are we gonna restore our country? It's just depressing. It's absolutely depressing. Americans will have to rebuild, defend their own cities themselves. This is what I've been saying. I mean, honestly, we should just go out there and take matters into our own hands. Like, that's what we have to do. That's just what we have to do. Hold up. Democrats have put a nail in their own coffin. I sure hope so. I sure hope that people will watch this nonsense play out on our streets and be tired of it and be tired of the people who are coddling it. But at the same time, President Trump has been soft on these riots. Like, we just have to be honest. He's not been strong enough. And I know that he cannot deploy the National Guard. I just found that out today, so that's one thing. But his rhetoric on this has just not been strong. Like what he tweeted out early Friday morning, that was great. Okay, and I was pissed at the fact that you didn't say anything like all day, but that was great. But he needs to keep his foot on the gas pedal. He needs to keep his foot on the gas pedal. Now he's sort of backed off again, and he's trying to like play nice. Like, no, he needs to be strong against these terrorists. Okay, and declaring Antifa a domestic terrorist organization, that is great. But we need more. Like, we need President Trump to really step up. All right, he's done and said a few great things here and there, but we need we need nightly Oval Office addresses to the country, like nightly press conferences where he's like seriously addresses the nation, and we need him to take a stronger stance against these riots than what he's doing. But not just him, by the way. We need all Republicans. There's some Republicans who refuse to even say a damn thing about this violence. Where are they? What are they doing? They ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to be. Why the hell do you call yourself a Republican? I've seen a lot of Democrat politicians, like the mayor of Atlanta, far-left Democrat, has spoken out against these riots more than a lot of, frankly, Republican politicians have. Like, are you freaking kidding me? What, because they're worried of being called racist? I'm sorry. The silent majority in this country abhors what's going on in their streets. Absolutely despises it. And that includes people of color. Okay? What people want to see are strong leaders in our country who are willing to take a stand and tell the world that this violence, this thuggery, this terrorism will not be tolerated on our streets any longer. That's what we need. That's what this country needs. Term limits. How about primary? Any Republican politician who has not already spoken out strongly against this violence needs to be primaried out of office. Okay? They have no place being a Republican politician in any place of power. The progressive left will take us to hell. They already have. What do you call this? What do you call what is going on in our country right now? They already have. This is a taste of it. We have a choice to keep going with this, or to return our country to normalcy, to America. We have a chance to return America to America, or keep America Somalia. Make your choice. Make your choice. Yeah, misinformation is a problem, Bailey. Absolutely, 100%. Don't be too black-pilled. You guys and gals are the smart ones. You will lead the way out of this with intellect and passion. I find hope in this chat. These times that make you strong. Nope, definitely, 100%. These are the times, and don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. Chandler's not going anywhere. Aadi's not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. Okay, we understand that because our politicians won't do it, because other members of our generation won't do it, because leaders of our generation won't do it, we understand that it's our responsibility to take a stand and lead the country out of this chaos and this nonsense. Because you look at the age group of the people doing this, it's not old people. It's not old people. It's not old people who have paid taxes and built their lives. It is a bunch of spoiled young millennial brats who have nothing better to do with their life than to go destroy crap. And we all know that it is our responsibility as I guess Gen Z leaders, to take a stand and to lead our country out of this darkness and back to the light, back to the shining light of greatness that is the United States of America. By the way, put in the chat right now, let's see, just type, what should we type? Just type USA, or if you're watching on your cell phone, type in the American flag emoji. If you still love your country, if you still are proud to be an American, if you still love the United States of America and are not prepared to allow a bunch of thugs and domestic terrorists to destroy and take your country from you, put in the chat right now. If you're still proud to be an American, and if you refuse to let this nonsense destroy your country, let us know in the chat right now. Take a stand for this country, all right? Type USA or put an American flag in the chat right now. 100%. Thomas Jefferson. Well, Thomas Jefferson better be putting US in the chat, but yes. USA, 100%. But okay, now do me a favor. You probably don't know the other people in this chat, right? But like these are, look in this chat. Chevy One, Thomas Jefferson, Maxim Cipher, Destratus, The Cove Channel, John Magnuson, Toter, Maxim, Grace, Lunatic, Activist Granny. You guys don't know each other, and you guys will probably never see each other again. But just know that these are your allies. These are our allies. This is literally an all-out war on the streets between patriots and thugs, between America and terrorism, between law and lawlessness. And we are on the right side of history. We are absolutely, I know we're on the right side because we are on the side of our country, and it is inherently and self-evidently self-destructive to allow your own country to collapse right in front of you and to engage in the destruction of your own country. But just know that you guys are each other's allies, that we have your back. There's a silent majority of patriotic people that care about this country, and I know it's a majority, that will not stand by and are disgusted with the way in which our American society has degraded into un-American chaos. But look to the people around you in this chat who all put USA in the chat, who all said they're proud to be an American, who all said they still love their country, even when one bad thing happens done by one bad set of people. and that are willing to defend this country against the actions of thugs and moral degenerates and terrorists who seek to destroy it. We are the people. You in this chat, me, Chandler, Aadi, we are the people who will lead America back to America. Okay, we will restore this country to what it is supposed to be. How we will make America great again. Okay, you and I will make this country great again. We'll make it better than ever before. It's our duty, guys. Okay, I don't care how young you are or how old you are watching this video. I don't care how powerless or small you feel like you are. It is your duty. It is our duty to rebuild, to take this country back, first of all, from the moral degenerates and the idiots and the assholes and the terrorists and the thugs who are ruling our country at the moment. It is our job to take back our country from them, and it is also our job to rebuild this country. You might ask, how do we rebuild this country? We're not in power. We're not politicians. You know, there are small actions that people don't realize that they're doing, that are charitable actions they do, but they're actually super patriotic. The most patriotic thing you can do is help a fellow American in need. The most patriotic thing you can do is make sure that one of your fellow American citizens has what they need, or that if they're in a tough situation, make it slightly easier on them. I want you to really, I would encourage all of you, don't just think about doing good deeds to do good deeds. Especially at this point in our country, view good deeds as something that you're literally doing to make our country better. Okay, like the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Change starts with a single person. If you want to make this country better, if you want to improve this country, I think we all do, we need to make this country great again. It's not just incumbent on Trump or politicians or people in media or whatever. It's incumbent on us. It's incumbent on us to literally do small-scale actions that improve our local communities. If everyone just did one thing, to improve their local community, what would happen? That across this country, everyone's local community got better. That trickles up. The country becomes better. Okay, and I encourage all of you. Like you have a world where everyone is so hateful and mad and wants to kill each other. Say hi to a stranger. Thank a police officer for the work they're to keep us safe. Thank a soldier you ever encounter them. Thank a soldier or a veteran for the work they've done to defend this country. Volunteer, if you have time for that, or donate to a charity that is helping your fellow Americans, that is helping to improve their quality of life or help them through a tough situation. That's what we need to do. Hell, there's going to be no shortage of opportunities after these riots. Clean up your city, clean up the stores in your local area, fix them, help them. If you have something you think you can donate, do it. But that is what we have to do as patriots at the moment, because a bunch of morons destroyed our country right in front of us, and it's our job to rebuild it. They're not going to rebuild it. They're not going to do crap. Okay, it's our job to rebuild it. We need to rebuild it. The politicians are going to run out of money. They're not going to be able to just stimulate the economy back after this. Like, no, it is going to be our job to take our country back. 100%. Very inspirational. Thank you very much. Support small businesses and all local businesses. Help the senior in your area. They are scared right now. Fear propaganda all day and night. 100%, absolutely. Activist Granny, I agree with you. And I think, especially at this time, I know I am very cavalier against these riots, and I'm not apologetic for doing so. But at the same time, we need to follow MLK's message of spreading peace and love, not to these rioters, because they're not going to accept that message of peace and love. They are moral degenerates, but to each other, to other fellow normal people who are heartbroken, who don't look to what is going on in our country right now with joy. Like, they are heartbroken by what is going on in our country right now. We need to all remind them and remind each other that we matter. That there are people who care about each other and care about our country. So tell a family member that you love them. Tell a friend that you love them. That is not just a good moral thing to do. That is especially in this part of the country, that is a patriotic thing to do, to uplift your fellow Americans. The American spirit has not been this damaged in a very, very long time. Okay, and this definitely, I'd say probably since like 9/11, like with between coronavirus and this, like this is the most damage the American spirit has been in a long time. But the American spirit is us. We are the American spirit. So we need to collectively uplift each other, you know, positive vibes. But not positive vibes toward the rioters, because that's going to encourage the rioting, but towards each other, fellow Americans. Because I don't consider these rioters and looters to be Americans. They're not Americans, but our actual fellow Americans. They need to know that they matter, that they're cared about. Okay. Hold on. The government will not straighten itself out. It's entirely up to the people to see it being done. Absolutely. Exactly. We are at crossroads, and we choose abundance and positivity. You create your reality. Believe it. 100%. Amen. Thank you very much. Positive action is what we need. Absolutely. But yeah, 2 minutes 45 minutes on the stream. I guess we'll be wrapping it up soon. But thank you for all of you guys who tuned into tonight's stream. Especially those of you guys who were on Aadi's or Chandler's channel and stayed for me. Like, thank you. Make sure you subscribe to me if you care so much to. That's my channel right there. You can also follow me on Instagram at @VinceDao or Twitter or whatever. I have a same social media handle. It's at @TheVinceDao. Dao as in right here, at @TheVinceDao. If you want to follow me. But yeah, thank you guys very much. I know this is like very tough times for us as Americans. Like I've never felt so, like, you know, in my lifetime, I've never felt so disgruntled with what's going on in my country as what's going on right now. But we all need to support each other, you know, as not just as conservatives, but as Americans. We all need to support each other through these times. Okay? And this is not some stupid generic commercial ad about in these trying times, in these unprecedented times. Like, sorry, Cove Channel asks, what is my channel again? That's my channel right here. All right, I guess I should just take the banner off. But yeah, that's my channel name right there if you guys want to go subscribe to it. But it's like, seriously though, in times like these, we need to support each other as patriots and as Americans. And remember what I said a few minutes ago about what it means to be patriotic in a time like this, because we're going to need it. We're going to need it as a country. Okay, and it starts with you and I. Politicians are not going to rebuild this country. Trump is not going to be able to rebuild this country. He's not going to be able to heal the wounds that the American people created. No, the American people are going to have to heal the wounds that the American people created. And we are the American people. You and I are the American people. And we need to do it. We absolutely need to do it. Anyway, guys, real Americans will come out of this chaos. We need to show strength and support. I do not care what political party anyone belongs to. That means absolutely Republicans, Democrats, Green Party, Libertarian. It doesn't matter what political party you are. If you care about this country, we need to unite against this terrorism and this chaos and come together and try to improve this country. Not just politically. In fact, I would argue that whatever policy we're fighting over, that's like the last thing that matters right now. What we need right now is simply to uplift American spirit, American psyche, American morale, like our ethos as a country, our pride as a country. That's what needs to be fixed right now. And I'm sorry, no tax cut, no immigration reform, no bill that Congress passes and the president signs can fix that. No Supreme Court ruling that the Supreme Court decides on can fix that. We need a cultural change in the United States of America, and the lucky thing, what's lucky about people like you and I is we are in society, and we can slowly, one by one, come together and dictate and take back control of the culture. And that's the only way we're going to restore the country. 100%. We are Americans, not Dems, not roots. Read this comment, take it to heart, okay? Except for the people rioting. Those people are not Americans. But people who unite, and I know a lot, I'm going to say I know a lot of Democrats, a lot of liberals who are heartbroken, just as heartbroken as I am. with what is going on in our country right now. So I don't say this is a black or white issue. I don't say this is a Republican or Democrat issue. This is an American versus terrorist and thug issue. If you're on the side of America, you need to take a stand for America. We all need to take stands for America. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. Those of you guys not watching on my YouTube channel, link is right there. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. For those of you guys watching on these other channels, make sure you like this video and subscribe to them. Right, they need the support just as much. We're all homies. We're all a team here. But yeah, for those of you guys watching on my channel or planning on subscribing to my channel, I have videos like throughout the week, but I stream live nightly, weekly. On Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I have my own show, America Rising, the Vince Dow Show. We stream every Friday night at 10 p.m. So if you guys are either on my channel or not, make sure you guys tune in to those streams if you like what you saw here today. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. If you're watching on another channel and you're never going to subscribe to me, then I will see you never again. But it was nice meeting you and nice knowing you. But yeah, make sure you guys are liked and subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next one, if there is going to be a next one between you and I. But yes, I'll see you guys later. Make sure, remember, we must make America great again. And that's not a political message. That's an American message. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Stay safe. God bless you all. And goodbye. Okay? Goodbye, America. And here's one last, for better times in our country. See you guys later.